Sir Chat. We are here. Your boy Triple HD. My boy the one T Razor in the building. Hold on, wait.
Hold on, wait.
We got some shooters.
Welcome to Unwelcome.
Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walking out, there ain't a big smile or handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters.
Appreciate everybody pouring on in. Thanks for waiting outside the line. We're now entering the building. Today we will be talking about Smackdown in the Barclays. Man, we might have some spoilers for y'all too. If y'all tune in and y'all want some spoilers, it was double tape. I got that for y'all.
We got some shooters.
Let's get it, man, because I love this song. Everybody can go check out the link. We got the QR code right above Razor over there in the corner. You could go check out the single. It's out now, man. It's out. Go get it. Just go. But tonight, we got a lot going on. We want to start off talking about Johnny Wrestling. Shout out to Johnny Wrestling, man. We appreciate the dabs, the love, all the hard work that you do going through the motions for the fans, even when there's nothing for you, my brother. Let's just talk about it. DIY. They fell short tonight in the tournament for the number one contenders match to determine the number one contenders for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. They fell short to Motor City Machine Gun. Listen, I'm not mad at that. 2 weeks in the company, these guys deserve it. Ciampa, Gargano, we've been asking for them to break up for a while now. I think this is it. I think this is the time. We seen what happened tonight. Super kick. I think that should be the start of things. That should be the start of things right there, man.
But I think aside from that inevitable situation is, where does Johnny Wrestling go after that? You know, he's been there well over 10 years. Always, for the most part, been one of the crowd favorites. Lately, it doesn't seem like that much. Again, bell to bell, very few guys can hold a candle to him. But it's the other things, whether it be the cosmetics or just his overall demeanor to it, for lack of a better term, like something's lost.
Yeah,
And it's a little alarming because it's becoming more noticeable even to us fans when watching it, whether it be on our television screens or live in person. You can tell like something's not quite right with Johnny Wrestling.
And again, I feel like I was just saying off air to you, Candace, his other better half, she's over there doing some good work for me. Like I felt like she was just, floating around, had a few matches here. Now she's getting injected into the Nia Jax storyline, which I feel like DIY, they had a program early on with the Bloodline, but I think as fans we kind of saw where that was going. Like they weren't really gonna go over on the Bloodline. So like you saying, where do we go with them from that? Like what do we do with them?
It's been with the Usos in the past, respectively. It's been with the Street Profits. Hell, even Awesome Truth. All across the board, like eight pound down under.
Yep.
You name it. Like there's always something that's not been present, and all signs point to Gargano. Unfortunately, it's like you could tell. Like I don't know. Like you said with Candace, she's been getting experimental, trying new stuff. It seems to be working. She's got a little more pep in her step lately, but again, with her better half, I don't know.
I don't know why I got this insane idea, and it may not work, but it may be work if they don't have anything to deal with right now. What if there's a way that we get Gargano versus Ciampa eventually for the Speed Championship? Like, I mean, we got to build them back up somehow, right? Like they kind of getting a little stale on TV with what they're doing right now. And if we're gonna have them go against something, at least have some pride on the line, history, and a little bit of gold just to add to the fuel. You know what I'm saying? The gold is not really needed, but let's elevate the speed championship if we can.
Or your other options are door number C, the place that he kind of ran for the majority of his tenure in WWE, and that's NXT.
That's an interesting one right there.
I know folks are gonna hate to hear it because again, he's considered a veteran of the main roster, but it's like, hey, you got to get in where you fit in. Johnny Wrestling was made famous amongst WWE fans in black and gold. He could bring a lot to the table over there with that young crop of folks over there. You could also incorporate maybe a couple stops over to TNA on occasion, some more fresh faces.
Okay, I like where this is going because Johnny Gargano's about to be my two-way segue right now. It's like I got two questions that I want to branch off from Johnny. So, have we ever seen him under the tutelage of Sean's NXT? Has he
No,
been present for that would be that might be something right there. You know, Sean is high on Gargano. You know, Gargano holds Sean in high.
I don't believe so. At least
Okay, there might be some things there, and then it also like the second part of that segue that I wanted to, because I know over the internet people been rumbling about what Carlito said on Monday Night Raw, and it just I bring it up because leadership. Everybody says that Triple H is running the show. Do you feel he's running the whole show? Like I feel personally, I think if Bruce Pritchard is still around, what is he doing? Like he got to have some kind of hands on the show, right? On the main roster shows. We're not talking about NXT at the moment, chat. To keep you guys up to speed.
I would assume Bruce is aiding those in creative, so maybe aiding an Abyss, a Bobby Roode, uh, was a Jason Jordan, those type of guys. Maybe he's overseeing them potentially,
Okay.
or unless that's just solely Paul Heyman. But yeah, Bruce's roles post Vince is that's definitely been on the minds of a lot of folks because that is the last line that Vince has in that company.
Does it feel like if you're not a major player right now in the WWE, like they might have storylines for you, but the storylines that they're gonna have, they just like they might not. All right. So again, that might not have been the storyline, the Carlito thing per se, but just certain lines. One line is that they'll have the talent say, or just certain things that transpire.
Well, apparently he ad libbed it,
Mm.
but again, even 20 years ago and now, we've always known Carlito just a dude that's just goofy. And one thing that I kind of took from the whole situation was if the other party in question, if they thought it was whatever, they saw no harm in it, then why should the rest of the world see any harm in it?
Yeah, that's a good point. I
And you
mean,
can also pick apart. Okay, look at the TV shows we watch today, since this is technically a television show. If someone's going to say a certain line and they're meant to be portrayed in a certain light based on their character, then what's the problem?
all right. So let me ask you this: do us as fans need to learn to blur or not blur, but we need to learn how to separate reality from what you're saying. This is a performance, this is an act. And I think because oftentimes a lot of these characters, the person that they portrayed by, they dig into themselves a lot to put that into the character. Do you think that's why as fans like the outcry happens on social media like this? Or like do you think people just want to find shit to nitpick and like they might be tribalists of another brand or product and they want to just come at WWE? Like
I,
I
I
want
don't
to find
think
a like
I don't think tribalism has anything to do with it. I think you kind
okay.
of hit the nail on the head. It's like just folks today, just the generation, just the times that they're just so quick to find the smallest fault of something just to rip into that because cancel culture is a motherfucker.
Yeah, that shit is real. Yeah.
And they tried their damnedest this week, calling for the man's job, calling for Triple H's job, and it's like, why? Like, even 10 years ago, most of y'all that are in this uproar would have been laughing at this.
It's just one of those weird cases because I'm gonna be honest, when it happened and I like that scene, I didn't think nothing of it. He said what he said, and I'm like, all right.
I chuckled
I
because
didn't
again,
like,
I see Carlito as just a dude that's just goofy.
and part of me, like, if you're saying he ad libbed, I don't know if he meant to get it wrong on purpose or if he didn't. But
That could have been anything. That could have been just he forgot that they're Japanese. That's a very human possibility.
because didn't Pierce say something to? Did he say Konnichiwa or something or
I don't recall the start of that, but I just remember seeing him talk to Damage Control. They part ways. Carlito comes in, says the line, and all Pierce just looks at him and goes, "What do you want?
okay,
Just
okay.
just let it just go."
Yeah, so I mean, because when he said it, I just thought like maybe he meant Japanese. I didn't even
Again, it's a
think
possibility he could have just forgot.
slipped up.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's human.
yeah, because everybody. The reason I bring this up too is because this is one of the things that we seen. We talk about what's going on in the community. As you know, I welcome your thoughts off the hip. This is what we do around here, and it seems like the way that the community's portraying it, like as if this was part of story. Like this was like a line given to here, go out there and like you said, Carlito's like a funny comedic relief at this point. So
Yeah,
and my point is too, like if they're giving Carlito that, which I feel like he's better than those backstage comedic relief segments. I thought we bring back Carlito to compete. I didn't know we bring back Carlito to be a mouthpiece or do
to be another R Truth.
miscellaneous. Basically, yeah.
But again, when the time comes, much like our truth, Carlito can go with the best of them.
No,
Does he
yeah,
have to
we
do it all the time? No, you can argue no, but again, it would be nice if he's a little more active, more than what we're seeing him, because we know how good he can be.
yeah, and I
Same
think
with an R Truth, and these are two guys that have been in the game for almost 30 years. Truth may have just hit 30 years.
according to Dom here, Dom already got 20 years in the business.
I mean, technically, 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 he been beefing with CM Punk for 12 years.
Yep. Man,
I love
it
it.
he in a few years he might be like the longest tenured WWE superstar out there, man.
I hope they try that just to see what folks are gonna say.
Man, that'd be crazy. I'm not even gonna lie, cause Dom, shout out to Dom too. Spoiler alert. Right now, mute me for 5 seconds, God. They had Dominic and Seth Rollins for next week's SmackDown. I don't know if that was part of a dark match next week's
It's
SmackDown.
possible because a lot of the Raw folks have been doing dark match, go to SmackDown for dark match, just like folks on Raw. Because with this past Monday or whenever the Raw was in Philly, Cody versus Jacob in a street fight.
So I want to walk. This was a unique night for me, to be honest, chat. I was in Brooklyn for tonight's SmackDown, and I'm communicating with my fellas in the group chat as the night is unfolding. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. SmackDown's not on the air yet. I'm buying food. You know what the fuck I hear? I hear voices in my head. They counsel me.
Well, I don't know if you look at them tickets. The show starts like 4:30. So you should. That's your fault for not looking at Ticketmaster.
Hey, listen. Historically, SmackDowns open at 6:45. The doors open at 6:45. And then you know what they would do right before SmackDown starts? Film a main event. Now, if that happened today, and at the times you're saying, somebody needed to fucking update me. Things have changed around here. Since Triple H has been around, things have changed around here, folks.
He finally started drinking.
Yeah. Like, listen, nobody gave me the memo. We got to be at the shows early. You never know what you're going to get. And I had to fucking,
Hey, it's that live event rule of thumb.
man, I'm trying to tell you. Yo, I got there by the skin because I'm just getting to Brooklyn. I got caught in traffic, and I'm glad that my GPS took me the shorter way because the way I usually take, it would have had me even there for 30 more minutes. I'm just getting out to
You missed
Brooklyn
half the
6 to,
show.
bro. I'd have been mad. I'd have been furious. So I'm just getting there. We standing online. It's 7 o'clock, and I hear Randy's song. So that opening segment that you guys seen at 8 p.m. when SmackDown started happened an actual hour earlier. Then we hear Triple H's music. I'm not gonna lie, we heard Triple H's music. Everybody at the concession stands, everything stopped. Everything stopped.
Well, again, last time we saw Randy Orton when we was telling all this told him, "Hey, I'm not saying you can't fight Kevin Owens. This one's above me." So Randy tells him, "All right, I know exactly who I need to hit up."
Man,
And we know Randy and Triple H, they go back a ways. He is not afraid to barge that door and say, "Listen, old man, we got to talk, and we got to talk now." And lo and behold, it's kind of what we got tonight to kick off the show.
another
He wasn't
match.
playing no games. He was about his business, and he tells him this. This is what I thought was incredible from Randy. You know better than anybody. He brought up their famous beef. For those that may not have been watching back then, Triple H is sitting home with his wife. They're just having a conversation. Next thing you know, some banging on the door. It's Triple H with the goddamn sledgehammer, ready for war, because Randy was on his demon time.
I think it was beautifully done how maybe I'm thinking too much. The usage of Triple H to reinforce in our minds that Kevin Owens is actually a dangerous like Triple H is sitting there trying to talk Randy out of this match with Kevin Owens.
And again, who's the guy that brought Kevin Owens to WWE? Triple H. Everyone knows Kevin Owens, that's a bad man. Even back in the days, Kevin Steen, that's a bad man right there. But all at the same breath, Randy is far from a pushover. Triple H
Mm-hmm.
is far from a pushover. Now, from Triple H's eyes, he goes, "Hey, it takes a monster to know a monster."
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Randy has to double down. You know who I am. You know what I'm about. And then again, like I said, we got that beautiful callback from the early 2000s. Which again, I'm a sucker for a good callback. And the way they tied it all in, and with Randy's space, tell him, "I need this."
Man.
What does Triple H tell him? "I'm worried for you.
That's the
You
part
have
that
steel
like
rods in your back."
the reinforcement of letting us know things can go wrong. You reinstalling that into my mind that wow, Randy really came back off an injury. He's getting into a
And you
beef with
forget
him.
it was almost 2 years.
Man, sidelined on the shelf for 2 years, damn near 18 months,
A long time.
and you're coming back to beef with one of the most dangerous prize fighters in the
A
game.
dude who's arguably as dangerous as you. Randy, we know you a bad motherfucker. So was Kevin. That's the problem. You're both just as crazy.
Kevin Owens, I'm glad that he did this because I feel like every time he'll go face, go heel, he kind of stays in the same territory. I think I'm seeing a even more like no fucks given side of Kevin Owens right now. Like maybe we've seen this before, but it's been quite some time with all the like.
It's the first time we've seen it with somebody other than Sami Zayn.
And then damn, for
Maybe Jericho, maybe, but that at least in Sammy. I didn't think we saw this level when he beat up John Cena.
nah, it was more confident troll. Like I'm here to take. He felt like he was deserving of the moments that he wanted to take. This is different. This feels different.
The prize fighter is back.
Yeah, I'm here for one purpose and one purpose only.
Roddy Piper once says, "I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum."
Hmm. Now, how'd you feel about like where's your excitement levels for their match going into Crown Jewel? Like, I didn't think we were gonna get a match. Like, I mean, I think I can't say that we knew the direction. I didn't. What they said it was gonna be a cage match.
I didn't
If I'm
catch stipulation. I thought it was just a one-on-one, but
just
either
a one on
way,
one, I
yeah.
might be
But
wrong with
either
the
way, it's
cage
one of
match.
those. These are two guys that they're gonna put on a show that's probably gonna be one of the benchmarks of the PLE next week. They're gonna go out there whether it's in the beginning or in the middle, and they're gonna tell everybody, "Hey, go top that." But like I said, just the way they tied it all together with Triple H tonight, it was perfect because again, Triple H he's a master at this. He probably plans a lot in his sleep.
Man,
Now, as far as what we'll see next week at the Go Home is here or there, but uh, does it add any more excitement to the match? No, because again, going into them teasing it last week and weeks before, you know it's going to be great. It's just one of those pairings that it just can't miss.
yeah, I don't know why in the hell I thought they said a cage match. I think that's what I want to see out of them for some weird reason. I don't know why the hell I thought that. Yeah, it's just gonna be a one on one match from what I see right over here in the transcripts. But I say this: the excitement levels to see that match, I'm there with you. It did nothing for, it, but the excitement to see Crown Jewel, okay. I think y'all
Like,
might
hey,
have me with the card.
Cody, Gunther, go top that.
I mean, there's also wait for the spoilers, Chad. There's also more Crown Jewel news. If you haven't already heard, you know what I'm saying. I'm just going by what I seen in attendance tonight.
But real quick sidebar to that, folks have been crying about the shows being only about the majority of the shows being 5 matches. So far at this moment in time, at the time of this recording, there are 6 matches on the card. Now there's likely they're going to add more next week for the go home, but again, what's your take on the more than 5 matches for the bigger shows versus the 5 just for the get in, get out, go home shows?
That's why you folks shouldn't miss a beat. Stay here with us or unwelcome your thoughts. We been spoke about this 3 PLEs ago when it first started happening. Didn't we
Talk about
mention?
it all year.
Didn't we mention the first time it happened? Hold on, only 5 matches, and all of them went
And
on for about
know what it
20 to
was?
30.
It was Backlash in France, which was one of the greatest crowds we've seen probably in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, so we didn't really, we didn't check the prospects of any of that. And for the most part, some of these matches were good matches. They did what they were supposed to do.
We did get that I Quit match.
That was the shitter right there. Like, but
Sorry,
then on
Cody.
the
Sorry, AJ.
but on the flip side, then we get the CM Punk Drew Hell in a Cell. That was worth every however many
We
20,
get the crowd singing
18.
Voices by Rev Theory, which still gives me goosebumps.
Man, listen.
We see the emergence of what we now know as the infamous Tongaloa. So again, a lot of pluses that came from Leon France.
That PLE, yeah, was definitely top 10. Then throughout the rest of the year, I mean, the only one that was like when I watched it back the second time was Bad Blood. I think Bad Blood was kind of like, all right, we maybe could have put an extra match on here. You had two matches out of five that was surrounding the Judgment Day storyline.
But you also had Punk and Drew, and you also had
The
the
Bloodline
the
at the
second
end.
coming of the 2-man power trip. Let's just call it that. But again, that's the Bad Blood's gonna be one of those shows to where I'm curious to see how it ages, because that's a show that could have very easily been a 3-4 hour. I mean, it was 3.5 hours, but you could have fit a couple more matches in there, maybe. Uh, had it been a 4 show like one of the big four, I wouldn't have been mad at it. But yeah, then
There's
that
no way
that that
that
one was
there,
that one
there's
was
no way that SummerSlam was only five matches, right?
no,
There's no
SummerSlam was
way.
like 8 or 9,
Yeah, so come on,
just like
community,
Mania.
come on, community. We need to chill out. Like they not, come on. They know when to turn up and when.
Rumble might be. I'd be surprised if it's more than 6 matches.
The one thing I do say about five matches is this: for me, being a person that watched for so many years, you look at the time of how long a PLE is supposed to go on, and you start to calculate. Okay, there's five matches, give or take. Each of these could go 15 minutes because the in between, then that'll fill out the. So that's how I was looking at most of them. I didn't look at, oh, there's gonna be a quick finish. There's gonna be like remember when uh, wh- when Braun and Sammy had went at it, they had a quicker match. Their second
Yeah,
time when Braun had ran through Sammy for the IC belt, and you
yep.
called that one. You said it's gonna be a quick match.
That's gonna be the quickest on the night, and it was.
With five
Did it,
matches,
did
I
it
don't
even?
think I don't think I can really like say that with five matches.
But also with the 5 match formula, little to nothing gets lost in the shuffle. Because just look at what we listed off of Backlash, and that was 6 months ago.
No, that yeah. And I think for purposes, like you said, nothing's gonna get lost. What needs to be on the PLE, the most important storylines are there.
And that's usually what they're doing. And then every so often they'll bring out another story. They're gonna see if they get more mileage out of it, or if it's time to cut it off. But yeah, I got no problem with the 5 match thing for most of the shows, because again, like, think about it, lately, a lot of their shows, or this could be thing down the road, it'll be a Dota PLE early in the day, and then right when that ends, you got a UFC pay per view.
Now,
That's been happening quite frequently lately.
do you think people are checking the amount of matches because what the folks down the road are doing,
Oh, most
where,
definitely.
and how they're putting on so many matches and
And over there, a match is no less than 20-25 minutes, bell to bell. You do that for 10-12 matches,
you got
folks
the
gonna
whole
fall
night?
asleep.
I
Folks gonna
mean,
get burnt, and especially when they're all doing the same shit. Whether it be the
I'm a,
same moves or same spots.
no, and it's true. Like I was surprised that the crowd tonight was able to keep up the energy for a double taping. Like it seemed like they didn't mind because for the most part, I'm gonna be honest, they bring out a lot of superstars that we seen earlier on in the night. So like, depending what type of viewer you are, you could probably go in like, whoa, what's going on? What's happening?
Mhm.
Like, or if you already know what's going on, you start to catch on and you're like, oh, okay, I see what the direction of where things are going.
You
So
know
I
what's
mean,
gonna be a big litmus test?
what's that?
In a week and a half, when NXT goes to the ECW arena.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't. I'm
That
flirting
that
with the
that's
idea
that
of going over there, but you said they
that
sold out, so I can't.
they
But
they sold out in the pre-sale.
yeah, People probably flipping them things.
But again, as far as that, like that, if they can pull, what they've been doing so far, which has been pretty good for the most part, they can get just a little bit more elevated in that historic venue, especially not even. I'm not even counting them. They're going to go ahead with Dynamite that night. I'm not even counting that. But if they can just put on a solid show in that venue, they better be looking to book Hammerstein Ballroom around WrestleMania or whenever they're back in New York.
Mm. Yeah, them intimate settings, they go off though for them. Like,
Especially when venues that
yes, sir,
have,
brother Bowie. Triple HD, yes, sir.
well, but you know what I mean. Like again, I'm a fan of the history, so yeah, I look at the ECW arena, Hammerstein, the Manhattan Center, the Cow Palace here in California. These historic venues that are still around, the Greensboro Coliseum. If you can at least hope to God
Recapture
sell
some
the places
magic.
out
Oof.
and get even a taste of that magic of that history.
No, it'd definitely be epic
Now,
because
I'm not saying they can sell out the Greensboro or the Cow Palace. Those are big venues, but if they're able to at least get a good chunk of people in there, they're gonna show out.
yeah, like you said
Because
about the
again,
Hammerstein, like even if they run out the Manhattan Center, like if they could say they came out the same spot that the first episode of Raw aired from, like just
could
these
you
these
imagine NXT
man,
NXT affiliate from Madison Square Garden? Or it don't have to be a takeover. It's just the place where the first WrestleMania was at. NXT will now have a PLE here.
nah, those things, yeah, it's getting to that level. It seems like,
We're getting there quick.
yeah, like the more I see people talking about NXT, it's a lot going on, and even like Solo mentioning to Motor City Machine Guns, you guys are trying to make an impact. Like, there's
That was
no,
clever.
yeah, there's,
I saw you saw Alex do a little ha ha.
mm-hmm. He said the Yeet ones or the Day One Yeets.
Yes.
He said yes to both. Fuck it. The
Whatever
one,
the soul tells you, that's what it is.
the Yeet ones or the Day One Yeets. Man, the Day
But
One
also,
Yeets
well,
does
here's
sound
the crazy part
fire.
with NXT though. Like they're doing this much success purely off the women's division.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that too. Um, the talent that I seen tonight, they looked phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie. In
Oh,
person,
Dakar Jackson and Lash Legend,
marvelous.
their money.
I understand people probably got criticism. They don't really know what they got going on. I don't know what they got going on with Metaphor, but um, Lash, she looked like she belonged in the ring. Again, they did. It's another spoiler. They did the Fatal 4-Way match for next week, SmackDown.
I thought that, but no. So they're doing Fatal Four, and then I think all of them are gonna be competing for the women's tag at Crown Jewel as well.
Yep. So that's what I'm saying. This was a weird night for me. It was crazy. It's like
There's a lot going on.
it was a fun night though. It was fun. It just like and being in person. If you guys never attended the show, you don't hear commentary. You don't hear commentary. You got the Titantrons you can look at or look at the live action.
And also depending on where you're sitting, Cole and Graves, they're gonna be perfectly camouflaged.
Hmm.
unless Graves is wearing one of his outlandish colored suits, you ain't gonna see them. You're gonna know the area where they're gonna be supposed to be. Yeah, but you can't see them for shit.
You can't even make out what they're saying. Like you said, you might just see them from a glimpse, but what's the use of trying to? You're gonna miss the action, right? Like,
Uh huh.
but I mean, I always thought too. I never. I know that other stadiums have like headphones you could plug into. I never knew why they didn't give out headphones so you could hear commentary if you want to, but that'd be dope. But
You mean like what AEW does with Shivani sometimes?
they do that for him. I never.
Sometimes, yeah, cause he'll do some shit, whatever, and then out the blue, Oh, I just spoke to Tony Khan. Blah blah blah. It's gonna happen now.
Oh man, you see that shit is yeah. See, I don't typically like when they do that because sometimes they
Like
do.
sometimes he'll get the mic, sometimes he'll be talking with the headset. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah. Nah, it should just be like, or even if you somehow if they have like a Bluetooth shit that we could connect our own headphones to just to hear the commentary. You know what I'm saying? That'd be fucking like out of this world amazing. You hear the commentary while you're at the show and you get to keep up with like the story being told and everything. Cause I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest. It was like aside from certain things being shown on the screen, you kind of don't really know why it's happening. It just pops up on the screen. Nia Jackson, Tiffany, like the pace feels a little bit weird.
and again, like you touched a while ago, like if you're watching regularly, you're gonna have an idea what's going on for the most part. But if you're just going as a casual fan, yeah, there's gonna be some confusion.
And tonight, like I've went to almost every show. Oh, I can't say every show because I've missed live shows. Every television live show that's been held in Madison Square or Brooklyn, I've attended since 2019, since before pandemic. And today felt the the most chaotic. I'm not gonna lie in terms of just not knowing what to expect. Hell, they even told us a few weeks ago. I don't know if you remember. We was gonna get Damian Priest versus Gunther in today's dark whatever or whatever they was gonna do tonight. We didn't get that. Now things change. Plans change all the time. They write it in
You could
fine
have missed
print.
it while you were parking.
Man, that'd be crazy.
No, but that'd been all over Twitter.
They did give us Randy and Cody versus Imperium, which that was a head scratcher to me, but it was a good match. I'll tell y'all that. It was a good match. But it was a head scratcher because
I look forward to watching it next week
yeah. I hope it I really hope it's on next week. I think it is too.
because they announced it for next week. I think on
They
SmackDown.
did, right? Okay, so yeah, so all right, cool. So then that's a spoiler chat. Got well, it was not too much because they announced it, but I'm not gonna tell you guys who picked up the victory or whatnot, but it was a good match. And yeah, I was
What
just surprised.
what I want to know is how was that crowd feeling about Game 7?
Things felt weird. I'm not gonna lie.
That match looked weird.
What was the purpose behind where all right, so are we you know what it
The
felt like?
reason why it
LA
was weird
Knight,
because we're getting a triple threat at Crown Jewel.
which we had a feeling something like this was gonna happen. But we thought game seven was gonna be the triple threat. You know what I tweeted to Carmelo? Game seven, overtime. This is overtime.
Yeah,
This is overtime. Your game seven just went into overtime.
but again, from LNI to Andrade to even Mello, like you could tell, like it looked like they phoned it in. Like this
They,
was nowhere near as crisp as matches 1 through 6 between the two of them.
bro, I'm not even gonna lie. It felt weird even seeing LA Knight still wearing his championship and his vest in the ring. Like
I thought that was hilarious.
it just like I know he did it on purpose to do something different, but it just you just looked it like you was in the ring. You didn't even look like a
Yeah,
real official.
half the time I forgot he had the zebra stripes on.
Like it was just weird. And then also, what I wanted to get into with that match was that it seemed like LA Knight was put in a position to get booed. He kept doing things throughout
Yeah,
the match as an official that didn't favor him.
they
Like
got to
the crowd
realize
were
that.
booing. Hmm.
I, do you want to be a babyface or a heel? Because if you want to be a babyface, then don't put him in these situations.
You
If
know
you
what?
wanted to be a heel,
That's the problem with tweeners. Like you got this real cool dude in LA Knight. Like, he's such a badass, but he's not really for the people. He's really for himself. He's kind of like almost like what LaGreca, Bully, I've been saying about Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is a natural heel. He come out and do heel shit, but we fucking just love him. Or
He's
we
a
just,
natural jackass.
yeah, but we just enjoy the fucking song. Oh, we start singing along. He
Yeah,
does his
and we
dance.
and
We
we get a big
burn
laugh
it.
out of his WrestleMania fits.
His fits always get us talking. He just does the right things. But even his fits are trollish, right?
Yeah,
He trolled Cody Rhodes. He wore the polka dots.
he came out in the Shield gear to Roman Reigns
Trolled him.
with the music.
Fought him when they had their match. He fought him in that shit. And just to fuck him up one last time at WrestleMania, let me just remind you once more. One more time.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna come out with a chair.
What he just told CM Punk a few weeks ago. Oh, I can't wait till you heal up so I could end your career. Or whatever. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah,
That's not a babyface thing to say. I mean, not the baby faces I know. The baby faces just be like, I can't wait to get back so we can have a 5-star match.
I want you at your very best.
Best. Nah, I just want you to get back so I could finish putting you out of your misery. Yeah. And that's how I feel LA Knight's heading. Like, he shits on a lot of people. Andrade is, in my eyes, he's supposed to be face. LA Knight is just, you could get it too. I don't care if you're a good guy and Carmelo's a heel. You both getting it. So again, to me, this match felt weird. The aura in the building felt like they, the people wanted to get behind either Carmelo or Andrade. People in attendance, it felt like they were more
And
behind
LNF probably
Carmelo.
ruined it.
Even the announcement of later on in the night when Nick Aldis announces the triple threat match, nobody really popped. Crowd didn't go
Or maybe like
crazy.
me, we're tired of triple threat matches. How many triple threats we've gotten this year? Whether it be a tournament or just a regular match.
And you know what's tough? With this one, we've seen this happen and we've called this. And there's nothing wrong with predictable. We could have predictable and it still be fire. This just wasn't fire.
Yeah,
It just wasn't fire.
not even trying.
Like you said, they went male. I felt like they kind of went to the high spots of all their matches quickly. And
And
after
it could
they
have
went
been
to
so much
those,
better.
yeah, for a game 7 feel, it didn't give me the aura like this was a like they could have even pushed it a little bit more and made it feel like a real competitive match. Like, it's too much
This was kind of a quick
chicanery.
one too, wasn't it?
It felt quick. It felt quick. And you know why it felt quick? Because you get a few quick moments, the high spots. You got Andrade, he tries to go for the pin within like 5 seconds of the match starting, right? You getting these false finishes. Like, it was a close 3. Like, I watched it back and you see LA Knight 1, 2, and his hand almost. So I'm like, damn. And then you get into the finish where he lays both of them out. Like, you know what? I don't care about y'all game 7. Y'all bunch of losers. I'm the real winner of the game 7. What everybody's saying.
And you were better off doing that at the start of the match.
And again, I don't think this was needed unless the idea. And again, where does LA Knight go if he drops the belt to either Carmelo or Andrade right here?
Oh, we're gonna get Game 7 Part 2.
I'm gonna be honest.
You
I
see how
feel
stupid
like
that sounds?
LA Knight's inclusion in this shit wiped away, to me, half of their hard work. Cause I'm not gonna disregard the hard work they put in, but the back end of it got muddy. It got muddy.
So
The back end of this, I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
piss a lot of
know.
people off right now.
I need to hear it. I need to hear it.
Should Logan Paul have retained?
Against LA Knight.
Yes, at SummerSlam.
I mean, he already broke the record. He already got the most.
No,
It would not.
but no. In hindsight,
He is a bigger star. I'm not gonna lie,
no,
Logan.
I'm not. Star power aside, just
He didn't defend the championship. It's like that's why I hate the defending of the championship shit. Like it's
I'm
like
looking at it like no, like if you put Logan Paul in the situation that Ellen has been in, especially with the Melo and Andrade stuff, I'm willing to bet it would have been a hell of a lot better than what we got at LA Knight.
yeah, cause Logan going
Because
he
Logan
just a
Paul's not afraid to be
troll.
a heel, and LA Knight would rather be a tweener.
That's fact. I mean, yo, Liz, you ain't even lying because I don't remember like that much Logan Paul merch being out. Logan Paul used to just come to the ring in a t-shirt. Prom is his merch.
Yeah, he had one, maybe two shirts, if that.
And again, like I said, I wouldn't even see him come to those in the ring. He'll just come through in regular street gear.
Yeah,
So you might be right there, like no cap, because the way I'm looking at it, LA Knight being a tweener
and nothing
doesn't
with
help
LA
the
Knight is just this is one
situation.
of those situations to where it wasn't going to benefit him no matter which way he went.
This isn't benefiting anybody right now. Cause like again, for me,
Like Melo and Andrade were starting to do this here little by little, and then you put LA Knight in it, it just flattens out.
what happens if LA Knight retains the championship? Why the fuck did we just watch Carmelo and Andrade go through all of this hard
Put
work
on classic for the last 3-4 months.
to just get shitted on at the end? Like, you know what? Y'all still not good enough to be the champion, though. Put on all them bangers in it. That it's kind.
This
I
is gonna
don't
be
know.
this is gonna be a weird triple threat in Saudi next week.
Do you feel like the title changes hands?
I feel like it has to. Like there's no other option. Either put on Andrade, put on Melo. Either or, it's fine. But you got to get the belt off LA Knight.
Keep it real. You feel like Logan Paul is the best United States champion? I mean, like
He's been the
since
most
Cena,
effective
since
recently.
Cena, because
He,
Cena.
KO tried, but aside from those two, Logan Paul has been the most consistent recently. And now I'm not now. Could he be more active? Yes, whatever. That's neither here or there. But when it, in the programs that he's been in, he's been the most effective for the
Do you
time he's
th-
been allotted.
do you think like aesthetics matter? Like, do you think somebody looking right with the belt matter? Like, I don't think LA Knight looks right with that belt right now. Like when I look at that belt, I kind of think of like Logan Paul's run. Like I think of like maybe he's had it for so long, 200 days. Never really seen nobody with the United States belt that long. So maybe that's just. But I don't think, or is I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just it doesn't something doesn't feel right about this run with LA Knight in the United States.
And like, you could also argue that the LA Knight experiment experience, whatever you want to call it, it's always been just questionable.
Like you know what I just noticed tonight, and my wifey pointed it out to me. He put LA on the United States straps. Like his logo, LA Knight, they all over the United States straps. I never noticed that.
On the side plates?
No, not on the side, on the actual black straps. He has the white letters, LA on them. I don't know if he
Really?
just did that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Let me see if we could.
Never noticed that.
Let me see if I could get a picture of that real quick. Yeah, see, it's hard because it's like really on the black part. So most of these pictures I see here, but we was able to see it on television tonight. Also on this episode of SmackDown, it was visible. So yeah, keep an eye out for that the next time you see it. I thought it was interesting. He put a little spin on it, but again, it's not. He hasn't to me been doing any like what he had the match against. He had three matches so far, right? Santos, Andrade, and Carmelo.
And Mello, was it Mello?
Yeah, because he said he beat both of them already.
But yeah, ever since he got that call, he's always been on that. He's struggled to get past that something's missing category.
Okay, so you can't really like see the belt here, but this I'm if I'm not mistaken, this is from tonight's episode. But let me know if you can see this right here.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, so yeah, that black is the strap, and he put the logo over it. I was just like,
I guess.
right.
I
That's
get. I guess.
felt like I was in the 2K creation suite and in the video
Media
game.
creations.
Yeah, like man. So yeah, that's how I felt.
It,
I didn't know how to feel about it. Like
just bring the spinner back. Fuck it.
that's why I asked about the aesthetics of the championship of somebody. Like you know,
Not everybody should have a personalized belt.
mm. I think once somebody has held the belt for like a long time in a certain era, I think maybe you should change the look of certain things.
You mean like what they're doing with Roman twice?
Roman, now the IC belt.
They did it with Rock back in the day. Uh, TNA's did it. They've done it with Jeff Hardy. They've done it with Kurt Angle. Uh, Daniel Bryan got that wooden belt.
We done seen the Miz change the IC belt and then
Oh,
they'll change it back.
that reminds me. Uh, I didn't watch. Now I didn't watch the full segment, but I guess our girl Athena's been in the program for Ring of Honor, and long story short, they put a spinner on the original Ring of Honor women's belt.
Ooh wee.
I wish I was making this up. I saw her hit the spinner. I couldn't watch the rest of the video because I was laughing too damn hard.
Ooh wee. Man. Go try and shit. But the rest of the SmackDown, what else we had on there? Because I got to look at these notes over here. Because like I said, in person, things were scattered all out. If I could be transparent with y'all, what y'all seen in the
Well,
last hour of Roman Reigns, we got that at 9 p.m. Eastern time. SmackDown was like it shouldn't have.
and the 9 o'clock hour for or the halfway point for SmackDown was the face to face between Cody Rhodes and Gunther.
And that happened at 8 p.m. for us, which what I thought was opening the show. But come to find out, it was Randy and Triple H. It was
Yeah,
just all over the place, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. But from the notes I'm seeing over here, we then got it after that match, the LA Night. We got into Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax chatting backstage. Yeah, I do remember that. This is that little friendship we was talking about with
hmm
Candice LeRae earlier, finding things to do. You know what I'm saying? She took care of Bailey. What was it last week?
she held her end of the bargain.
Amethyst, welcome back.
We will get to that. Believe me, we will
Yeah.
get to that.
Oh we. Oh we. Now you go. Yeah, you got to be going off the spoilers. You gotta go with the spoilers, but it's inevitable to know. This is again what I'm saying. We know the direction they going in. Kind of like what you said. It felt like 3 weeks done sped up, and this one, I seen the spoilers. Yeah,
Okay,
I
we
feel
won't
that.
get
There's
into
nothing
that.
wrong with that. Hell yeah.
But
But mhm.
back with the cancer risk of, yeah, like I said, it's the caller from last week. She filled in for Tiffany while Tiffany was out ill. She held her in at the bargain. She's basically, all right. What do I get out of this?
I'm gonna be honest too. What they did, see, this is why like it's tough to do a double taping, and me that like I host a podcast, it's hard to not come out here and talk about next week, because next week I'm gonna have to come out here and talk about it again. But I'm gonna do my best to keep it on one, bro. Tiffy tonight, money. I'm not gonna lie, money. Like, but we only got to that segment right there. You know what I'm saying? Um, Candice LeRae told her to fall back. She told Tiffy to relax, and then we see Nia Jax hit Tiffy on the back with a little back pat, like, yeah, relax. And you heard that, like, I'm not gonna lie, in the I heard it on TV. I heard it in the
Oh no, you can
arena.
see she put some little in that.
She put some oomph in that.
Let her know, hey, if you're trying to cash in,
I feel
just
that with
know
this
I don't hit soft.
man. Laid it in on her, and yeah, basically you see some more teasing of the dissension right there between Nia Jax and Tiffany. Like, there's more going on there.
Do you think we'll actually see a cash in next week in Saudi?
That's why I don't. You want my spoiler answers? Yes or no?
We could do it because
All right.
we're gonna do a prediction
Tiffy
show next week anyways.
Tiffy says she is cashing in at Crown Jewel, and she said
But
on one of them because they both pissing her off. Because they did the face to face. Remember, Liv and Nia post a face to face in the ring next week for SmackDown. So they're doing the face off, and here comes Tiffy time, and she makes her way to the ring, and she lets both of the ladies know, y'all not safe. You not safe because Jax, you not safe because I'm tired of you. And then Liv starts laughing, right? Like, oh, and she said, hold on, Liv. You're not safe. If I take your championship, does Dom come with it? Whoa!
Ludwig, get your girl.
Whoa!
Ludwig, Ludwig, get your girl. She tripping.
Thank you, Amethyst. Thank you, because I thought I was
I'm gonna
alone
get into
in
that
the
too. I got
universe.
once we get to the main event. There's a very specific question I'm waiting to ask you.
Razor, did I not text you? I'm at the show and I'm texting the man halfway across the country, asking him the things I should be knowing because I'm at the show.
No, but I'm gonna have a very specific question once we get to that.
Man, but so to answer your original question, Tiffy Stratton to me is gonna cash in. She's gonna cash in on Liv, and that'll be fresh to me. I thought I thought I wanted to see Tiffy and Nia. We could still save that down the road. We could save that.
I'm still leaning where she cashes in on Nia now. After
Oof,
what I saw today on
oof.
SmackDown,
Mm,
like you gonna try to check me like that? I ain't playing that. I ain't scared of you.
man, Bowie, it was getting heated. It's getting heated. I think nah, you see, can't do that. But like, man, it
She'd be the biggest baby face in the fucking roster aside from Rhea.
is there a way? Is there a way that she can cash in the middle of the match, make it a triple threat match, and whichever champion get pinned, that's who she like. She don't gotta. What if she's like, I cashing in, but on both of them, like
So
Can
that's
she do
been my
that?
question because a lot of folks on Twitter or some folks on Twitter are of the belief that if she cashes in at Crown Jewel, then all 3 belt or she's eligible for all 3 belts, including the Crown Jewel belt. So that's where the confusion lies again. So if she does cash in, is it for both, or does she announce on the whoever she pins? We don't know. I don't think we've ever been in this situation yet with a female or anybody, male or female, cashing in. So this is gonna be very new to WWE as a whole. Now, I wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised if she just gets 1 belt, but also I wouldn't be surprised if she walks away with the Raw and SmackDown belt.
Because her verbiage tonight made it seem like she's not interested in the crown jewel title. But
But if she scores a pinfall, she's walking with that belt too.
no, but that's if she decides to cash in the middle of the match.
Oh, after the match, you think she cashes in?
Yeah, because that was her verbiage. I'm gonna walk away with one of your titles or one of these side, whatever. But she just said one.
Miss Stratton, you have my attention.
Miss Stratton, misdirection. She could be planting
Ah,
the miss,
let's
right?
put on a T-shirt.
Like, man, like wow, like cause it could be a whole like for real, like she could swoop in and just take both of them. She could say one thing, but got a whole nother plan up her sleeve. You don't always show your full hand.
And it seems like she's shuffling the deck every time she shows a card in the hand.
Right. Yeah. Because every time Naya thinks that she really got her, like, man, like you under the wing, like, man, you're about to go cash in on who I tell you to cash in on. Uh.
Ooh wee.
It's definitely gonna be a nice little scene to watch over there. But out of that segment right there, we get Candice LeRae and Naomi. I'm not gonna lie, Indy Hartwell got a lot of love from the fans in attendance. It was dope to see that. I'm be honest, she kind of, I guess they ain't catch it on camera, but she broke character a few times. It was showing love to the fans. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Indy,
I
shout
mean,
out to
I mean,
Candice.
even NXT, she's always been very appreciative because again, we hardly get to see her because either she's been struck by injury or just they never had anything for her. I would love to have them treat her more seriously in a certain role, but again, she's in that certain crew that constantly plagued by the injury bug. Hopefully, she's healthy now because that's another much like Shotzi. She can be one of the top women in that on that entire brand, maybe even the whole roster.
That damn injury bug, it always gets to somebody. It's like that one obstacle you can't
But
overcome.
her, Shotzi, who's another one? Zoe Stark. There's 3 women particularly that you put the rocket on them. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the number 1 woman. Let me look what we saw with Liv Morgan this year.
Not yo, listen, I'm telling you, like to me, Candice LeRae, like in person, like they typically on TV, they got a certain formula, right? Where you get in a certain shot, a certain visual of the talent, whether it's male or female. They'll with the male, they might give you a more body shot. With the females, they
Mhm.
might bring it up a little higher. But seeing Candice LeRae she's money. Like she's money.
Yeah,
And we knew this, but there was nothing for her. Like we were saying earlier on in the show. Like they found little things, little matches to put her in, but now she's in a story again. And we can invest in her again. You know what I'm
and
saying?
much like in Alexa Bliss per se, for her small size, she's very technically sound.
Oh, her and Naomi, I thought they had a good match. Like, I
That
don't know
match
how it
was
came.
money
Yeah, I'm about to say I didn't know how it came across on TV to everybody in attendance though. It was a lot of moments where I was like, "Oh wow!" And these are genuine O's and wows, not just to
because
get the noise going. Like,
me being a fan of both women respectively, what I saw was all right. 2 veterans of the game, been around the block for a minute. All right, let's show them how it's done.
they was in there cooking. I'm not gonna lie.
And when this may have been like the 3rd or 4th time we've seen this at a Cancer Ray, and that's including her NXT stuff too. So folks forget, oh, girl can go.
Yeah, cause I want to say they had Candace and Indy in that weird. It was a very weird story where Candace was like trying to turn heel bad, and Indy was like not with it. That's the last I remember from them. And then now
Last I
we
remember was the
here.
stuff with Dexter Loomis.
Wow, like shit. I mean, I'm be honest. That was something too. And then they didn't have nothing for Indy. I thought when he came back and helped her win, you know what I'm saying? They had their little moments whenever they reunited on screen. But
Can you imagine
again,
that crowd? Should we get a Wyatt Six, Johnny Gargano segment, and we see Dexter Loomis and India Hartwell just standing stoic in front of each other in the ring?
I think YS6 needs some shit like that to like make us
Because
feel more
a
and
lot of folks
closer.
there, respectively, they got ties to so many other things aside from whatever is in the mind of Bo Dallas, and that's what can be the most beautiful thing about the Wyatt Six. It's not just Bray's past; they all have their own respective past, and you pick apart that. Joe Gacy can run roughshod with the Schism Boys, or even with Chasey down in NXT. Nikki Cross, just pick a woman that's been there in the last 5-10 years. Rowan, need I say more? Loomis, Johnny Gargano, Indy Hartwell.
No, and everybody like pick this up and run with it and speak it into the universe. Like we feel for Uncle Howdy's story and we feel for Bray, rest in peace.
But
But
there's 4 other stories you could also tell,
and we can feel from.
and because of their ties to Bray and all of it ultimately tie together.
That's the same thing, Amethyst, that I was. Yo, Amethyst, we must live in the same mental space because when I'm in attendance, because I don't know, like if you caught it, I said it there in the title. I was there. We was in Brooklyn, and that was running through my mind. I'm like, bro, I bet you next week I'm gonna see some fucking segment that they did. Because I'm not gonna lie, for the taping, they just gave us a lot of the matches. They wasn't giving us promos. So whatever they're gonna give us promo wise, we didn't really see for next week. Except if it was an in-ring promo, but backstage segments, they had the Titantron. It just said Smackdown for most of this the second taping. When I heard that Roman say yeet, oh yeah, he definitely said yeet. Listen, my phone was
And
dead too. I was
I can
so
only
mad,
imagine that crowd.
man, bro. It
Because
was
like
stressful.
I told you with Snake a few weeks ago, the minute he acknowledges Jay and either says or does the yeet, they're gonna lose their fucking minds.
See, but I don't want to make it like I have an issue. But my only thing that I would say, I thought Jimmy and Jay coming back together was gonna have a much larger reception than it had. Jay embracing or Roman embracing Jay got the more reception and more time to digest out of the night.
Well, yeah, because again, that's ultimately what they're waiting for now. The Jimmy and Jay stuff. Now, what they could have done that made it a little better was say Jimmy comes back in to try to embrace Jay. Jay powders out and just walks away because he sees Roman in the back. Like it ain't we still got some shit. If
Cause
you with him, all right, we ain't cool right now.
I felt like it was a bit odd, right? I would just let's just jump into this and we could come back to the rest of the show. We see the end of the match towards the Bloodline and Motor City Machine Guns, right? What was it was towards the end of that match, right? Where Jimmy
Yeah.
comes out and Jay. All right. So my thing was, where's that segment that they linked up? They agreed to do this, or you just telling me they both had the bright
There better
idea?
be a Paul Heyman pre-tape ready to go next week or something.
Please, because the last I remember, Jay was sitting there talking about I want no parts, and now
I'm out the family. I'm done.
and then like Snake Eyes pointed out in the group chat. Jay kind of dug his own grave on SmackDown, going out in front of Solo and them doing what he did.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you ain't really didn't want nothing to do with that, you ain't have to do that either.
yeah, and especially stepping to Jacob like that.
So tonight, seeing them, Jimmy coming out with the hood, fire. Then when Jay did it, it was more expected. Cause what I told you, I seen them with the hoods going to where they were supposed to go beforehand. So I seen that. But then the after part, the 30 seconds embrace of them hugging it out, and then the shot of Roman looking like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. That's how we ended tonight's SmackDown.
Yeah, yeah. There better be some Paul Heyman stuff coming next week, or I'm gonna be talking a lot of shit next Friday.
And no, and we did with you, Amethyst. I just think we like the part is feeling rushed, and like you said, will the bloodline be at Crown Jewel? That's my issue with this being rushed. If they're deciding to rush the story just to throw them on the Crown Jewel card because Saudi requested it, man, that'd be tough. Cause
There's literally no reason for them to be on Crown Jewel, if you ask me.
the card was set already. It's set. I thought it was. What are they going? Who are they? What are they? They're gonna burn one of the survivor. They're gonna burn the Survivor Series match here.
Right. Or again, or maybe that's where we bring back Paul Heyman. I don't fucking know. But next week, you're
Self
gonna have to
reflection.
either
Okay.
bring it. You're gonna have to bring in Paul Heyman before you bring back Sami Zayn. That's all I'm saying.
People
I
are
know
impressed
folks
with
want
Sami
Sammy
Zayn.
back, but there you got to bring the wise man back first.
Not necessarily on which part, Amethyst. Yeah, cause I'm sitting there like, man, what's going on here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you mean not necessarily burn the Survivor Series match here, if that's what you're referring to, blowing the War Games match. I mean, yeah, cause it's essentially not gonna be the same thing. Like a War Games match is a War Games match, so it's like you can't really. But it's like me personally, I don't like to see the same matchups occur. Like I don't like to see six
What
man and then an 8 man. It's like with the Wyatt shit we seen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
does Zilla got a passport? Is he allowed to leave the country?
mm.
That'd be the only exception.
I mean, I think if he cleared
I don't even think
everything up,
Hukale would be enough at this point.
see, I'm starting to think like that's like the way that this got sped up now. I'm starting to think all of that shit is end game shit. Like I'm thinking everything just got switched up now. Like like for one crazy part of me thinking
Or
Solo gonna get kicked out of that bloodline and he got to go crawling back to Roman and them.
I think we're forgetting one giant elephant in the room. The boss is back.
So it's a lot of shit going on.
That's this speeding up would be the
Does the
only
final boss pop up in Saudi? I mean, did they
that's
pay
what
for
I'm
him
getting at.
too? Like, I think that's the only person we ain't see pop up in Saudi yet.
Yeah, he's never been to Saudi.
I mean, Austin either, but I don't count Austin because he wasn't doing nothing until that one WrestleMania. But yeah, we done
I'm
see
talking
Sean.
purely for this story.
Right. Rock not going to Saudi. It'd be crazy. Like, what it like?
I'm just trying to justify all the reason for all the speeding up.
Yeah, like we trying to
I'm trying
see
to find
what.
some logic where okay, this happened, therefore this kind of makes sense. All right, I'm over it. But if it's not Paul Heyman, it's not The Rock, then why?
Cause my thing is too, that's not the only thing. Like they asking for a lot. Listen, Gunther and Cody, that's something I wanted to see, but it's not something I wanted to see as one as a champion and a champion fighting for the crown jewel title. Like
Fighting for a championship that will only be defended at these Saudi shows.
I heard Cody may be in the War Games match.
I'd
Man,
rather see John Cena in that spot. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm not gonna lie too. I hope this is the last year they do this War Game shit. I'm be real.
I don't mind the War Games stuff. It's just
Nah, I'm on
you
point with
can't
CM Punk.
do it with just anybody.
This is the problem. We don't need the match that need competitors, right? The competitors need the actual match to happen because of the
Mo-
feud. We just find it okay. The match needs people. It's War Games, so who we gonna put in it? There got to be a
Eeny,
reason why we
meeny,
doing
miny,
it.
mo.
Yeah, and that's my problem. That it's been themed the last few years. Survivor Series has been themed the War Games. So it's like you take away the actual Survivor Series, what it used to be, and Survivor Series could have been placement for many things. It could have been brand supremacy, Raw versus SmackDown. Like back in them days, that's what I mean. We could have been, but the War Games as of late feel like you either throwing in the Bloodline versus insert team. I watched, I watched I watched the Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes in a fucking War Games match. Who cares
Yeah,
about
and
that? Who remembers that?
don't forget in NXT in the Black and Gold you had Undisputed Era versus Pat McAfee and company.
The match is fire, but I feel like when you gotta just throw people in there because and now we just taking a whole month to build up when it don't feel organic because it's just happening because the month is around. I'd rather it happens in whatever month, but we need this match to happen because of how deep we are in the story.
Just think, a couple years ago, it could have been Bloodline versus Judgment Day.
And right now, it feels like the perfect time to do the
At one point,
Civil
you could have
War.
had Judgment Day versus the OC.
No, the fucking Brawling Brutes who fucking Rich Hollins on NXT. Butch is now Pete Dunne again. Sheamus,
Sheamus is currently competing for the Speed Championship.
no shit.
Yeah, I meant he was in a match this past Wednesday. Send you that.
I think Cody being in the War Games match would be like a way for Cody to pay Roman back for helping him, and then he moves on to
But
Randy.
Cody already paid that back when he dove on to Jacob.
Well, if that's AKA for let's get Randy Orton mad at Cody, then yeah, I could see I can see that. Cause then that'd be another Kevin Owens is validated in his whole way of being right now. If Cody once again helps Roman, and then Randy could actually see like, yo, hold on, Kevin, I might be coming around to what you saying. Cody is losing his mind.
I'm glad you touched on it because so before we get into the face off, let me ask you this: what are the odds Cody flashes on Randy and Saudi?
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Cody's been too clean up until this point to just
I
again
don't
to
think
just
so.
to just do it until to Randy, and then I don't know. Randy, spoiler, he he helped Cody get that victory tonight. Cody didn't do anything funny. He just handed him his championship. Some people might say he looked at the championship or something. Randy Orton is methodical. People gonna take what they want from it.
Yeah, but lately Cody's had he's like a purse up dog. Like I gotta get you before you get me.
Yeah, I could see that mentality. He
And
again, he
in his
did that to
verbiage as
Gunther
of late,
tonight.
like I've been saying, that man is far from a babyface.
It just feels very like tweener. Like again, we talk about tweeners.
I think he's telling us, I'm gonna talk how I talk, say what I want to say, and you guys are gonna ultimately hate it, and you're gonna deal with it. That's what I'm getting out of the messages that he pushes across. Whether he's talking with Gunther, whether he's talking with Kevin, whether he's talking with Aldis, there's a certain tone of the voice that as of late.
I mean, it is very reminiscent of, to me at least, of Cena when he was coming at Roman.
So no, in his mind, that's what he's thinking. But in reality, he's ultimately gonna drive everybody away because
Hmm.
they're like, this isn't you.
Yeah, and that's the vibe it's giving me. Like you're trying to be like uh tongue in cheek with some of the things you saying, a little smirky with it.
And even some of the interviews that he does, was a Sports Illustrated where he says, if you're a man and you're intimidated by someone that wears a suit, you have a small penis.
I mean, even today, he actually admitted to his fans being Cody crybabies. I'm not gonna lie. When he said that line, a different vibe in the arena. It was like,
It's like, oh, we're going down this road again,
yeah. And then he said, you don't hear them calling themselves Cody badasses. Like it was just like you said, kind of like, oh, he's
and
changing
then
up.
touched on, and then like even like Gunther said, let's get into it right now. Like Gunther was just being Gunther, just saw from what he was, who well, he's trying to be something that he's not. Called him over dramatic.
I think they have to do Randy and Cody thing before Royal Rumble because I have a feeling it will be Rock and Cody at Rumble.
Okay, so here's the problem with this right now. After Crown Jewel, the only PLE left is Survivor Series, and we ain't getting shit until February, which is the Rumble.
You said what's the is Survivor Series
That's it.
and that's
That's
it.
it for the year. There's no December pay per view unless it's NXT. There's no January pay per view, only NXT. February, right before the Super Bowl, is the Rumble. That's not a Saturday Night Event. That's not
And
a PLE.
I mean they do got it. Remember you
Like
sent
it
the.
could be.
I mean I think they are jacking it as a PLE though. I'm not gonna lie. It's unconventional that they really going at, but I think it is, bro. Because remember that screenshot you sent when you was like, and they put it on that Bad Blood PLE, upcoming PLEs, Saturday night main event.
Right. But isn't Cody already scheduled for a match then?
Let me ask you, was Beast in the East a PLE?
They dubbed that as a one night only special. Or a one time only special because that was Brock's first time back in Japan. I think that's the last time he's been in Japan too, come to think about it.
Wasn't they just there not too long ago? When they
No, he
oh
wasn't there.
oh he okay.
Because that's the first time Brock been there since New Japan. And I don't think he's been in Japan since then.
Amethyst said no, there are
I could have
no
sworn there was two
match.
matches announced for Saturday's main event. Unless they were just pitched. But there's two matches floating around at least. That I know of. Let me see.
I mean, if they're planning on doing Damien versus Gunther, I know Damien has already planted some seeds. I don't know if they're gonna go Survivor Series for that or rumored? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that were odd. Why did the Bloodline just drop the tag team titles
Yes, yeah,
tonight?
it's Priest and Gunther and Cody and KO.
That's the rumored matches. I knew
Yeah,
Priest was the one that popped out to my mind because he just started planting his seeds again with Gunther.
it's gonna be in New York, so you know he's gonna get that big pop. But also, with Saturday Main Event, is it gonna be on Peacock? Because when they did
It
Starcade,
should.
that wasn't televised at all. That was just for the fans.
Well, that is. I mean, Saturday night. I think it's gonna be on actual television.
So that was an
NBC.
NBC
Yeah,
show.
it's gonna be on NBC. It's gonna be on actual television. Yeah,
But again, that they own Peacock.
shit is crazy.
I mean, I could see I could hmm, depending on how they do it, you might be able to pull off Cody turning on Randy at in was it that's at Long Island, right?
Union Neil. Yep.
Yeah, so I can probably see that because I'm just saying if they wait too long, it's not going to be the same because once we get into next year, most of us are going to be counting down John Cena's 40 dates. You know, Randy's going to be in at least one of them. At least one of them.
But I don't know why I just thought of that. That shit is like, cause now it's like, do we really want to see Cena go on a championship run or chase, or do we just want to see dream matches from him?
Well, okay, let's real quick. Let's run down the dream matches. You have Orton. You could probably do Roman and Punk. I'll take Miz. Who else?
Does he show up on NXT and give one of those guys a match? Ethan Page, Trick.
I only see Ethan Page, but I think Ethan will be on the main roster by then. And if say you go NXT, you let him step foot in TNA.
I'm kind of deal with you, Amethyst, because if it leads to certain things, then I'm not.
You got to be very careful on how you treat,
Yeah,
or I'm not treat. That's a bad term for you. It's about how you utilize John Cena. Because again, those 40 dates are going to go by very fast.
yeah. Like if you treating it like the Kobe farewell tour, where you knew this wasn't a championship season, but you was just here to see the man drop 60 his last game. Like if we there for that type of vibe, I'm all for it.
You mean Shaq says I want 50? All right, big dog, I'm gonna give you 60.
Yup.
I need that 50.
Yeah, man. I'm there for that type of vibe. If we going out with the
But I
Paul
mean,
Pierce two
I've been
time
thinking
tour,
about this since he made that announcement. It's like I wouldn't call the 17th reign the end of the world, but again, it's got to be the right place and the right situation. I don't even care if it's at Money in the Bank and someone beats him at Money in the Bank as a cash in the same night. But it's got to
yeah.
be the right person, the right situation, and then with this current landscape, you almost kind of have to have him take it off of Cody.
Mm. Cena will really put on the nostalgia act, proving Roman right. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Cena made his bread and butter off the same formula for the last somewhat years. Switch it up a little bit, get a little wiser, clever. along the way. But I'm not gonna lie, once he found his formula, excuse me, Chad, I was yelling all night, so my voice sounds a little raspy, a little broken. I apologize. Yeah, I think Cena found his formula. Once he got past the rapper gimmick, once he got past the salute Marines, and he entered his Hulk Hogan, hustle, loyalty, respect each your vitamin, say your prayers, brother kind of vibe, he found his formula.
A really bad idea just popped in my head.
They always do, bro. That's why when I said,
Oh no,
ah,
no, this one's disgusting.
man, yep,
Say Cena beats
definitely
Cody for the belt,
do.
okay? You know who I can honestly see cashing in on that would, on as bad as it is, make the most sense?
Who's that?
Brock.
Brock?
No, The Rock.
Oh, Rock?
Meaning The
Oh no.
Rock would be Mr. Money in the Bank.
I mean, we had Brock Lesnar do it. I mean, like,
Yeah, but can you imagine Dwayne Johnson being Mr. Money in the Bank and then cashing in on Cena? So we're getting belt number 17th, and we're getting Rock Cena one last time as a fuck you to Cena
the
and
final
as a fuck
boss in
you
the
to
bank.
WWE.
The final boss in the bank. Man,
I hate that has a ring to it.
it
Boss of the
sounds
Bank.
yeah, that shit sounds crazy.
I mean, like I said, we got Boombox Brock out of it.
Nah, I think like I'm not gonna lie, Rock is so legendary that he's shown he can make it work in my eyes. Like he can make it
I,
work.
I'm just trying to think. Like I said, this like I said, the scene in these 40 days. That's not a lot of time,
Yeah.
and there's only so many folks you can do.
I think
What
the
the
people
people's
are ready
champion?
for it. Man, I think the people are ready for it. I don't think that the people would be in uproar if Cody lost. Like let's say Cody walks into WrestleMania as champion, or maybe not. I don't think there's gonna be an
Oh,
uproar if he
after
doesn't walk in or if he
after we did that
loses.
show after Mania, I called Cody to lose the belt by Survivor Series.
We here.
Well, we almost there,
We almost there, man.
but I did say Rock was going to be in it for it too.
You know what's crazy though too? We did call around this time. I called a little too early though. I thought around SummerSlam, and I think you had it a little bit late. But we met in the middle with the Rock coming back before the whole Rumble show. With just the way everything was being played out, it was like we started seeing some weird. Even with the noise of Roman on social media, the crowd saying we want Roman.
And I think
We
as fast as this year went by, with the fast as a lot of these shows went by, we just lost track of time. We're like, well, shit, we're here already. You look at the time on the calendar. Oh yeah, it's about that time.
yeah. There's been a lot
That's
of
the
those
crazy part
moments.
about all this.
Man, what like you said, we look at the calendar, in about what 5 days it's gonna be November, right? Maybe 5 6
Yep.
days gonna be November. Like, come on, it just to think like we after what's this next Crown Jewel? After that and Survivor Series, we on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We on the road. Like we packing out. This is us packing our bags right now. We getting ready
Speaking
for
of
the
it, you
road,
see the price of the goddamn tickets?
man.
A rack for a nosebleed? Are you kidding me? And that's for nosebleed.
Man, I think it would be Roman and Rock at WrestleMania 41. They could do Cena and Cody. Cena and Cody would be special though too. I would be interested in to see. I mean, I think like their ring style would kind of be similar to like the pace that we seen of Brock and Cody, just a little less aggression. But like in terms of the physique that Cena has, it's gonna be more of a match style like that. I don't know how crazy they would go in the match, but it should have an interesting story surrounding it. Cena could throw some jabs at Cody in there for sure. And we know what Roman and Rock is. That's family. This has been salivated for years now. We've been waiting for this, so we know what that is.
Since the Royal Rumble of 2015, when the seeds were first planted with that.
When those words were first uttered, head of the
That was the
table.
first time in a long time where The Rock got booed for trying to praise his cousin for winning the Royal Rumble.
Man,
But real quick, let's get back into that back and forth with Cody and Gunther because they were trading some shots.
let's get into it.
Gunther basically, or Cody touched on the fact on how I'm making the towns. I'm doing all these meet and greets. I'm doing what a champion should. You can't even be bothered to get out of bed. And you call yourself a champion?
Mm.
And Gunther claps back. It's not my fault. Like I got the balls to tell the boss no.
He said, "You think I don't get offered the same things?" And he does. He sat there and told him how he has the workhorse title. He does have the workhorse championship. So they're making very valid points to each other.
You got the belt that somebody else made.
hmm
You are not John Cena. You are not Dusty Rhodes. Basically, what he was saying.
Yep.
But again, Gunther finds a way to get under everybody's skin. Cody strikes first. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup.
Which
I don't
I
know if
really
that
enjoyed that.
style is going to be for everybody, but you might have something special there.
I mean, well, I think if anybody enjoyed the glimpse of what we saw between Gunther and Cody at the Royal Rumble a few years ago, then they should. I think they should be in for a treat. If you want to see Cody
Well,
get
back
chopped,
to back years, they had shit at both Rumbles, and they touched on that on commentary.
hmm
At the with Cody's last two Rumbles, he eliminated Gunther, and that's been sitting in Gunther's head for the last 3 years.
yeah, I
So
mean, he got to get that get back. And look, that's why I anticipate a very physical match between them, and I love those. I love heavy hitting affairs. But I think it's gonna be one side. I don't see Cody Rhodes as a heavy hitter unless Gunther unlock, because I think Gunther has that capability to unlock shit in people too. Though, like that's one thing that I don't think people talk about with Gunther. Like you watch a lot of people get in the ring with Gunther, they come out almost whether they win or lose, they come out 10 times a more ferocious competitor.
if if Cody wins, it better be by like a low blow or some tomfoolery. If he beats Gunther clean, I'm gonna be talking so much shit because this will be almost as bad as the Goldberg squashing the Fiend.
Oh yeah, let me know. Come on.
Like again, like this match could be the sleeper match of the card, but just as good as it could be, it could stink up the joint like no one's business just as easily.
Now,
Nothing against Cody or
why do
Gunther.
you
It's just
think
again
why do
they
you
both
think
wrestle a
that?
very similar style. I don't
What do you feel that can go wrong in the match besides their style? Like, do you feel like
Cody
because
winning
it's not
clean, which he shouldn't.
okay, okay.
It shouldn't be a back and forth match. There's no fucking way it should be. It should either be Okay, if it's one sided and Gunther server, cool. Cody shouldn't have one of those Sami Zayn rise from perseverance moments because that's not Cody's style. Let's be honest. If he's gonna pull out a win, it's got to be similar to what Xavier Woods is doing on Raw. You got to cheat to get ahead. This happy-go-lucky, kiss the baby, smiling baby face. Let's be honest, Cody. It's not you. We all see it.
See now,
We
you
all
know what
know
bothers
your true
me?
colors.
They should have never showed me. WWE should have never showed me Cody Rhodes beating Brock Lesnar. Then
Hold the phone there.
that should have never happened.
That
Twice,
no. Here's why I'm okay with that because that
2 out of
opened my
3.
eyes too. Cause like what you touched on, Cody can dig deep, whatever he can get dirty. All the more reason to my argument to where if Cody were to beat Gunther, it's got to be on some bullshit. Got to get a little, got to get his hands dirty a little bit. It cannot be a clean match. Now, him beating Brock shocked the hell out of me, but yeah, like Cody should not win clean.
So hold on, I want to just touch on that, and just I'm kind of glad you said that right there. I want to know because I said this to Razor, just seeing Roman head out to make the save and then make this do the stare down. I would have been pissed off if I went to Brooklyn to see
Now, are
Roman
we talking your spoiler moments or from tonight's episode of SmackDown?
just from tonight's episode of
Okay,
SmackDown.
just make sure I'm following.
The spoiler portion made up for the rest of it to me, to be honest.
Now, the reason why I bring that up was from the initial aid to what we saw to close out the show. Again, me not knowing what I don't know, just thinking hyperbole and what ifs. I'm thinking two folks got issue with the same man, but they each have two completely different agendas. Roman is still family beef. On Jay's side, it's you fucked me over. I got to get my lick back. One's got a personal issue, the other one's got a business issue. So again, had we not got the hug today, oh, he has technical difficulties. But again, let me continue real quick. Had we not got the hug today, that theory would have made a lot more sense. Whereas what we ended up getting is a whole lot of head scratching moments. So do with that what you may. Now I'm happy they're back together because again, we all knew this was the end game. We're gonna get there eventually by hook or crook. They could have waited till maybe a week or two after the PLE to at least get to this moment specifically. That's just my thing with it. Other than that, I had no problems with it. He's back. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
There he is.
My bad. Could you tell me just what you were saying? I missed out for like the last minute. My
No,
browser
so I'm
had.
just saying.
Yep.
So, like going into the last few minutes of the show, we got Roman and Jimmy taking out the boys. Jay coming out towards the end of the show. What I saw prior to everything else, and the other sports that we're going to see later on, was I saw two men, two different agendas. Roman got a little personal problem because it's still a family business. Jay got a business problem. You robbed me of my IC belt. I got to get my leg back. So had we not got the hug and Jay just powdered out, everything would have made perfect sense. Because again, we're not cool yet. It's like you on your time, you still rocking with him. I'm not cool with him, so it's whatever with me and you. I'm still gonna do me.
Yeah, it
But
was
we
the.
then got the hug, which leaves a whole lot of all right. What the fuck did I just watch?
And you talking
Which is
about from
great.
tonight's segment? Yeah,
Which again,
man.
I'm not mad at it, but it's one of those. I would have had other shit happen before this. This would have been something we could have seen maybe 2 weeks after Crown Jewel
I
or
thought it was
something
gonna
along the
be
lines
a
of that.
bigger I thought it was gonna be a bigger moment. Like,
It would have been its own respective moment, but again, you would have had time to let us go. Okay, let's jerk the chains a little bit. Let's let shit breathe. Let's let shit naturally make more sense. Because now all of a sudden, Jimmy says was happening, whatever. Everything's all gravy again. But with Roman is still no yeet. Now you cool again.
it was
Again,
very
like I
expedited.
said at the start of the show, wise man, where art thou? The math ain't mathin'.
The thing is, they have 4 SmackDowns left after next week to iron out the fourth, meaning potentially a fifth, and maybe Heyman. It had to be.
Did it have to be
That's
expedited, or the wise man could have been the puppet master all along? Because if you're gonna tell me Sammy talked to Roman, I'm gonna be cussing everyone out. If you're gonna tell me Roman had a talk with him or Cody had a talk with him, no, that ain't gonna work. The only person that should be aiding with these olive branches should be no one other than the wise man.
mm.
But
my
we're
thing.
here now, so
My thing is, I just, what's my part of the game that fucks me up when I'm told to be patient, and then when things get sped up and kind of just feel like, well, you could have
which
just, instead of making me feel patient, you could have actually just did all this while I was being patient. Now you just trying to speed us up. When while I was being
well
patient,
again,
you could have threw those
how many
nugs in
times
there.
have me and Snake's gone back and forth about that very phrase right there?
Be patient.
How many times have we gone at it about that?
That's what I'm
but again,
saying.
but like I said, as we looked at it, look at the calendar of this year. WrestleMania is less than 6 months away. We gotta get some shit in gear. So maybe with all the other bullshit, could have lost track of time. It's possible. I mean, shit, Triple H is moving billions of dollars left and right like no one's business right now. He got a lot going on.
I think the big variable, the big variable in the equation is the final boss. His inclusion and everything. Like when he came
And
back at Bad Blood, that kind of
is
started
he
cementing.
is he taking charge of this as opposed to Triple H and Paul Heyman? Possibility. Is that the greatest move? Time will tell.
Because I'm gonna
But
be
there's a
honest,
lot of head scratching what if moments with that right now.
I honestly thought the reunion would have been in September. This is without. This is what I'm saying. I thought the same thing. So we had to be patient in September to get to a lot of like Jay Uso dealing with mommy and Rhea Ripley and all that good stuff, like random stuff that Rikishi was complaining
I was
about.
here Rikishi in his moments.
Yeah,
Speaking of
like
which, is there any info on his reviews of Raw yet? I haven't I haven't had a chance to look that up yet.
nah, I haven't heard since the
Let's see if
last
I can
thing
find
with
something.
Vince. Yeah, I haven't heard since the last thing with Vince Russo. I hated that Rhea and Jay stuff. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it for Jay.
It
It didn't do
overstayed its
much for
welcome.
me. Yeah, it didn't do much. It was a laughable moment for me. Ah, okay. And then let's move on. When they started making it a thing, he's in matches with Damian Priest, fighting for the honor. Rikishi happy his sons are back together. I'm pretty sure it's dope. Get him back in the bloodline
An
in the main.
episode
So,
has not been released yet.
what else was Jay doing? Jay had a random moment where he tells Sami Zayn, "We're gonna go challenge for
The
the
tag
tag
belt.
team, yeah, the tag belts," and they just dismissed that, right? I mean, which I'm okay with because we at where we at now. But this was, I'm
Because
just
again,
saying,
we,
this
we
is part of
ultimately
the,
we knew where he was going to end up Rumble Mania season.
this is
We
part
we
of the
knew we knew where that
reason.
goal was, but maybe Jimmy wasn't quite healthy yet. Maybe again, Rock could have been calling some shots and on some bullshit. We'll never know.
Hmm.
But
What we do know is what's going on now. And again, just to like, not to beat the dead horse, but we seen Jimmy and Jay together. Um, the announcer for the double taping, she referred to them as the Usos. It's official.
Corey Graves said the Usos got one up over, or excuse me, the Usos plural got one up over Solo.
Now, could they be saying that because one is Jimmy Uso, Jay Uso? Sure, you can feed me that. I'm going with the other belief.
But he was kind of selling on the yes, I said the Usos.
Yes, that's where I'm going with it. Like, I believe that portion, the tag team name, the Usos, the brothers. Yes, that's where I'm going with it.
Now, assuming we get another mashup theme song, what's that going to sound like with with Roma's new song?
Mm.
Because
I'm not gonna lie.
you know they got to cook something up now by Mania.
I even started liking Jimmy's music this time around. Like, it was something about that song. It had a little vibe to it these days. Like, I don't know. They all got some stuff. Listen, I even started finding appreciation for Solo's music. Like
Yeah,
it's
solos
just,
grew on me.
yeah, it's been growing on me. Like, they got some heat over there in the bloodline with they songs. So I think they would do, they next song might be crazy. Remember how they had their last one before day one? It was the day one ish. Like,
Uh,
if they could do some shit like that, but like you been saying, the ones, we the ones. If they do like a remix, like how Jay Uso shit sound like right now, like it's just me, ooh. But nah, it'll be fire, man. They could find so many ways to finesse it and have fun with it.
well, like we said, come Mania season,
I I wonder
so
which
uh,
three of the
Cole's
team
calling
bloodline.
them the OG Bloodline. I think folks will go to start calling them the ones.
I'm not gonna lie, Tonga Loa in person is fucking jacked.
Telling you, I've been trying
Yo,
to tell you.
shout out to Solo. Shout out to Tamatunga. Y'all some funny dudes, man. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Cause it was a moment, fun moment here. We got a bunch of jerk pots standing in front of their SUV about to get themselves hit, flashing their lights in front of their tinted windows, being very rude. As soon as the driver drives past them jerk pots that was doing that, Tamatunga rolls down his window to me and my wifey that's standing there, and he puts the ones up, and my wifey, she does, yeah, 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 yeah. Bro, he started
I love
laughing,
it.
bro.
I love it.
I love it too. He started laughing,
Yeah.
and Solo started laughing, and then I just put the ones up, and then they went on their way, went about their business. We went about ours. It was a fun time. Shout out to them, man. It just makes the bloodline so much fun. Get a little quick interaction with them. Man, it's been. I
But
remember like people hated them so much, and even like like Tonga, I was finding ways to nitpick at what he was doing, but what he doing is masterful too. He took he's take the imperfections and he's
so
perfecting like, come on, he's running with it. Like,
so as of right now, plausibly, let's take a look at the SmackDown Tag Team division. You got the Usos, you got the Motor City Machine Guns, you got the Street Profits, you got the Gorillas of Destiny, you got A Town Down Under. We got a division now, folks.
yeah, you can safely. I mean, even the Pretty Deadly was back tonight.
Yeah, you respect them too. Yeah, we have a division again. Raw, pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, Motor City Machine Gun too. Like, they for them just being in the WWE system for a handful of weeks now. Now I know these guys are professional, but like, Come on, man. We heard Chris on the mic tonight, and he sounds like he belongs. Their in ring work belongs. I think they deserve the championship. I think a lot of them tag teams you just named on SmackDown deserve the championship. So it's pretty
And just
lame.
look at
I'm
the
screaming.
matches that we're about
Yeah,
to
they
get with
pretty
those
deadly.
teams
Yeah,
already.
that's probably the only one that I would say they not championship material, but they
I'm
just haven't
excited
played
to
them yet.
honestly, I'm excited to see what the Machine Guns can get out of Pretty Deadly. That
Okay,
that matchup might surprise you. I'm gonna be honest
okay, okay.
because Pretty Deadly they had signs of promise in NXT, but again, injury bug, both of them respectively. One of them had to get entire shoulder reconstruction surgery.
Yeah, that was
I want to
crazy.
say it was Alton Prince, something like that. But yeah, but they don't let the tassels fool you, especially if they get Wade Barrett to manage them because Wade Barrett's been like this with them for a minute.
I mean, I always said that about them, man. Right now, they just keep giving them more crazy, silly things to go off of, right? Like one week you see them singing, they're writing plays, they're on Broadway, they
You know what that
fashionistas.
reminds me of?
So,
New Day.
mm,
There's a lot of similarities between them. They're both very charismatic. They're very athletic. New Day, very charismatic, very athletic. Both got their start doing some heelish work, then transitioned into the funny business.
you know where I see that? I see like the flamboyancy for sure. They giving me the vibe of like the vaudevillains and a little bit of Rusev Day when he had Aiden English, like that
Yep.
whole little like gimmicky,
I even see a
real
lot
gimmick.
of Evan Bourne and Co. Eric Bourne in them.
You know what I enjoy about Roman's work right now? He's doing his best to like be a face, be a fan favorite, but stay true to what the tribal chief is.
Again, it's like for the first time in probably since NXT before the Shield, he's a free man. No pressure at all. Like just whatever you want to do, big dog. Just let it
Yeah,
rip.
this is probably
Even
the
like he
first
touched on
time.
Cody for the first time, like shackles are off. Like he all bets are off. He doesn't stick to any narrative, any criteria, nothing. Whatever, it's whatever he wants. So I think we're gonna see a lot of him, a lot of his actual personality, which is gonna be refreshing. And anytime when you can be yourself and you're comfortable kind of while being yourself, we're gonna see some magic out of him. Especially I say when him and Rock throw down eventually. Whenever Brock Lesnar comes back, Cena one more time because we're gonna get a more polished, like the finished product of Roman Reigns and him and Cena. Like I'm looking forward to them two just throwing hands with the mic.
Man.
That's gonna be a war of words.
Let me just ask a straight question. Do you feel like because we're getting expedited, do you feel like we gonna have the same, let me see, it's I think anticipation or like people gonna have the same feeling for this reunion of the bloodline, or because it's being expedited, you think it's taking a little bit away from the, 'cause
Okay,
I think
so
it's taking a,
before I answer your question, I want to throw this little tidbit in on top of that. Is it expediting it or are we getting back on track? Because depending how these next 3 4 weeks, that'll tell us if we're expediting, if we're just rushing it, or if we're getting back on track or where we should have been, like Amethyst said, late August, early September. Just making up that lost time, maybe.
I just feel for continuity purposes, um like everything has to make sense.
Well, like I said, these next, uh, uh, like I said, 3 4 weeks, whatever, like maybe about up until the go home show for starters, we'll know in those weeks if they're just playing catch up or they're just trying to just speed shit up to hurry up get to Mania.
Right, because I could make the argument. I could make this argument
If we see the Usos versus the Gorillas before War Games, I'm gonna call that a red flag.
because I could make the argument. Both of them are his brothers. Solo and Jimmy is his brother, and they both jerked him for titles.
Yeah.
So again, I what led us to Jay? Yeah, Solo jerked you on Raw and Jacob. How many times has Jimmy jerked you for a title opportunity?
You touched on the Avengers lineup earlier in the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
If not Paul Heyman, what if The Rock sides with Roman at War Games? And then he turns on him. Because that could be a possibility that could be right under our noses right now. Yes, he did the 1, 2, 3, but he could have also been referencing Solo, Tama, and Tonga.
Mm.
Because we've always contemplated, is Jacob really riding with them? Is Jacob riding with Rock? Is
And
Solo gonna go rogue?
I'm glad you mentioned three because now that Jay's in there, does that three turn into a four?
Again, there's a lot of questions sparked tonight. And like I said, uh, if what the stories about The Rock were true around Mania season where shit was going here, 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 and here, whatever. If we're back on that train, we touched on the Vince concerns before we got on the air. Bruce Pritchard ain't the only Vince McMahon line that's still there. You still got the final boss.
I just feel like it's kind of we could also see an angle where it's like in theory, The Rock versus Rikishi's family, Haku versus Rikishi's family. Like you said, The Rock holds Haku in high regard.
This is true.
Kick Solo out. You have Tama, you have Tonga, Tala, if that's what they choose to call Hikaleu,
Hill. You still got Zilla. You still got Lance.
and Jacob. You can either choose to keep him or he could be the one that kicks out Solo because I always have my theories that Jacob's gonna be the one to turn on Solo the same way Solo turned on Roman. I've always said that part. So it's a lot of fun stuff that they could do. I'm sure they want to have stuff together. And I'm gonna be honest, Sam, with this, I feel like they are repeating it. To be honest, like you know why I feel that way? Just as of the last post conference, Bad Blood, Triple H is asked how many hours is Netflix or Raw on Netflix. He doesn't even know yet until they still finalize. At that
Well,
moment, he said that they might know now, but at that moment in
yes. So as
time,
of
that was
right
what was waiting.
now, they're gonna get to as close to 3 hours most of the time.
So probably 2 4, maybe the same amount of time it would have been without like on TV without the
Like,
commercials,
like,
right?
like 1 week you might get 2.5. Another one you might get 2:45. You might get a 250 here and there.
I feel like them finalizing these deals, we're not gonna get to really see the full scale until after January. We just got SmackDown and NXT moving channels. Raw's gonna move. I think once that happens, next year we won't have the fiascos as much in the
Let's not
upcoming
forget
years.
SmackDown's supposed to get up there too, aren't they?
These are the things that are supposed to
Rumor.
take place. Yeah, like And some rumors come true, some don't. Some people, it was rumored Raw was going back to 2 hours, and it did. While it's still on USA, it's still on USA. They didn't have to wait to go to Netflix to go back to 2 hours. They just ran out the third hour. They working on a handshake agreement, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's basically like a.
Yeah, so it's a handshake agreement, and basically, I guess I don't know if they gave some of the money back or whatever. This is or some they cut you say a deal, and they gave him an hour back or something like that. Just says thank you for dealing with us for all these years.
Hmm. And which they still tech. SmackDown's on USA, right? So they still doing business. It's just Raw. They
But
not doing business with
USA
Raw.
swiped the show from Fox. That's how USA is looking at it. Not only that, USA's finally got access to Roman Reigns, which they haven't had in 10 years.
Yeah, that was a big portion of why they were upset when the deals were made in the first place. When this concept was first introduced.
Because folks wanted Roman, folks wanted Taker, folks still want Brock. Love him or hate him, that man's a draw.
I mean, he's definitely. If you haven't had the pleasure of watching them go at it, like I was in the building to watch Cowboy Brock. Like that was fun. He went out there,
Or
was Suplex
even
City.
Brock from 20 years ago, you knew then that
Man,
man's a star.
especially yeah, young Brock must have been a treat to like just watch. Oh man,
His match against Eddie at No Way Out in San Jose is one of my favorite matches to this day.
one thing I'm starting to learn, Amethyst, is like the older I get, I enjoy watching as just a fan. Like, but when I start watching documentaries like that WrestleMania documentary that was released, or us as the community, we keep bouncing information is being regurgitated through media outlets, all of this intake of information, I start looking at the business side of things. And I start looking like they will put storylines on hold for business sake. Storylines will get switched up for business sake.
Because they know what draws money in the past, and they know and they believe that certain folks that have this certain, for lack of a better term, aura, mystique about them that no matter what, they're always going to draw money. Look at two examples: Hogan and Flair,
I mean,
Sting.
the analytics, they can be fabricated, but the generation of money, if it's there, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, there's still a majority that n- appreciates what they did for this industry over the years, which is much how Danielson will be appreciated in years to come.
it's like what we said a few weeks ago. Saudi's still living in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, that very first show, they wanted Eddie Guerrero, Ultimate Warrior, and Yokozuna. Vince had to tell him, "Well, pal, it's a little hard to do because they're dead."
They went and had to go get some sumo guy, an actual sumo wrestler,
Yeah, they got
and who he fought Big Show that night. Or it was another big competitor from the
yeah,
WWE. That it might have been Big Show, right?
they want a whole bunch of folks, whatever that just weren't feasible.
And like you
Another
said,
name, speaking of
Power.
names that have that, I guess you could say grandfather appreciation that has been the talk of the town over this year that may be a free agent sooner than we anticipated. Chris Jericho. How would he be reciprocated should he go back to WWE?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I know he doesn't want to do it. There's a lot he could go back. Him and Kevin Owens already is money to me. I
But
feel
no,
like
but my
they,
thing is when when he does go back, whether it's next year or years down the road, do you just put him in the Hall of Fame?
of course, Jericho got to make the Hall of Fame. He has to. If he doesn't, then we know it's political, but almost certainly for the work he's put in, his first feud with The Rock, his entry feud in WWF, Y2J, Chris Jericho, the
Beats Rock and
countdown.
Austin in the same night to become the first undisputed champion.
Bro, that might have been one of the most anticipated. And I say he had two of those, the countdown and then the code. Remember the decipher
Oh,
code?
and the Save Us Y2J.
Bro, bro, you can't see it, or maybe you can. The, bro, I remember going crazy, like how people do now for the QR codes. That was me as a
That
kid.
was one of the original ones.
Yes, we trying to screenshot the video frame by frame to see what are the dropping letters to make out what's what.
And then some of them are done so well. We don't even pay attention that each week it already spelled out Y2J.
Man, like almost certainly for the work he's put in. I mean, like he reinvented himself in WWE so many times.
Now he may not have been as lucky as of late, but definitely I agree. He's definitely going to be appreciated for what he's done in the past.
Yeah, I mean, even the list of Jericho, like for the younger fans, you know, that might not have been
The
as hip
scarf.
to, yeah,
The
the
man got a
scarf,
fucking scarf over
I lo-
before MJF with the
the light up jacket.
him and John Moxley got over a potted plant.
You remember he fucking, it was a year he came out and didn't say shit.
Yeah,
Over, he just smiled,
that
trolling,
was before he was fucking with Shawn Michaels.
trolling. He just come out, smile, and just leave.
Hmm.
Like, nah, he had moments in WWE. If they don't do it, and he was a world champion, he got the accolades to go.
Is he the does he have the most IC title reigns, or did Dolph Ziggler or Miz beat them already?
Miz got 8 right now, so they just showed the statistic on TV for current active, and Miz holds the most with 8, and Kofi might be right behind him.
Let's see. Jericho's held it 9 times.
Wow.
9-time IC champion, 7-time tag team champion, former IWGP IC champion, the inaugural AEW world champion, a 6-time heavyweight champion in WWE, current Ring of Honor world champion.
And sometimes, bro, people think too much. Like I done heard Jericho refer to playing the classics. Sometimes don't you want to simplify the equation? Like longevity, like you'll get so much more mileage at this stage in your career. Just we haven't heard break the walls down. Like that'll be almost like hearing the Hardy Boys music when it hit at WrestleMania that year.
Well, I think WWE owns Break the Walls.
What happened?
I think WWE owns Break the Walls.
No, but I'm saying if he goes to WWE when his contract is up, like whether it's just for that Hall of Fame ceremony, we hear
The
that.
second we see the countdown,
Come on,
just
man,
yeah, that
classic.
due to the countdown, folks are gonna know because his countdown had a very specific tune.
Yes, that gray, like it just looked so unique. A very unique countdown sound. Like, come on, it'd
Do
be.
you
Mm.
do you see Daniel Bryan coming back
I
potentially?
think if people don't want to come home, I like
Well,
I
that's
don't.
the thing. I don't think he ever really considered WWE to be home.
Who Danny Bryan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he
then
was
stay.
the
Then you just
perennial
better.
indie darling. Yeah, he spent 10 something years in WWE, but I think the Yes movement for what it was, it's one of those cry for help type deals. Like, get me out of here. And once AEW was formed and he got back to being Odikins be himself again, like he's even been on record saying he has no interest in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Mm.
And for someone that has the accolades that he does, why wouldn't you want to go back to a place that appreciates you probably just maybe pretty damn close to what AEW appreciates you? Because you're one of those guys that you could kick a baby in the river or a newborn puppy in the river and folks are still gonna love you.
I mean, maybe working with the WWE comes with a lot. As we seen, working with AEW, you just get used when you need to get used,
Yeah, but
right?
Brian's always used, even when he's hurt. But I would like for him to at least or have Tony be the better man and let him make peace. Just even for a Hall of Fame thing, just hey, let us celebrate you. You don't gotta stay retired. You don't gotta stay retired, whatever. We just want you to celebrate you.
Like I'm gonna be honest, even
Vince is gone. Let us appreciate you.
with the work Christian is doing, I'd love to see him back in the WWE.
Oh, Christian's always been money, but
Yeah,
to a degree, I think Christian falls kind of in a role similar to Gargano, in which he's too much of a free spirit to be confined to the machine.
and that's where I think like yeah, Danielson fall
Because
under.
Christian, much like with Kurt Angle, even Booker T, they were a hell of a lot better outside of the WWE machine. Especially again when you had all three of them boys in TNA when they had more of that quote unquote freedom. Yeah, Hogan and Bischoff did what they did there with Dixie Carter, but for the time those folks were there from 2005 to 2010, 11, that was a very special era for TNA.
I think what WWE does for me, like as a viewer, it gives you a chance to appreciate. Like when I watch AEW, you gotta appreciate through the matches with the older people in WWE. They've been as of late highlighting them more, just having them in attendance, you know, showing them love, giving them things to do. You know what I mean? Now in AEW, it's kind of like you could be damn near 60 still wrestling. Now some of the talent want to be wrestlers, but sometimes you gotta, like do what's best for business.
Not
Like,
everyone's gonna be Billy Gunn and Rico Constantino.
man, like
Billy's damn near 7 years old, moving better than guys that are in their 20s. And they say steroids are bad for you. I want what Billy's on.
Jericho, for example, you was asking me about him. I think the fans are tired of him right now, but I think that can change if he's presented the right way. And
Well, here's the
sometimes
thing
you
with
need to scale
Jericho.
back. He's
Much
presented
like Orange
himself.
Cassidy, I don't think they missed a week of AEW television.
And that's the problem. He's presenting himself. He needs the machine to, all right, this week, you could chill.
I mean, why hasn't he taken Fozzy on tour? Yeah, you do your Jericho cruise every year, but you're still doing AEW work. Like
And I
you
ain't gonna
haven't missed.
lie. I
You
think
have
he's
yeah,
in
yeah,
that
again. They're 5 years deep. You have not missed. I don't think he's missed a single episode.
he's in that I don't want to say delusional, but he's in that belief area where he feels part of he feels he's part of the fight against WWE as what it looks like. Like that's what it gives me vibes of. Like he aligns with the views of Tony Khan.
Well, I know when he first left and when he went to New Japan, he told Vince flat out, "There's nothing left for me to do here. I've done literally everything. I'm not ready to walk away from this yet." But it's one of those, it's not a matter of you walking away. It's just you knowing when to take a break. Like the saying goes, "How can I miss you if you won't go away?" Imagine if you took a break every few months here, every few months there, come back, get standing ovation, people want to come to see you, merch sales go up, means more money for you. Whereas with the AEW stuff, all they gotta do is go to Tony saying, "Hey, I want this much money." Tony just goes, "Okay."
Hey, Queen. Yep.
They'll throw in, "Give me this much money, or I'm gonna go to WWE," and Tony gives them probably double that.
Man, like Rey Mysterio's out there. He's a Hall of Famer. He's on television every week. He
Not
could have
every
had
week.
just almost.
He's been
I
cut
mean,
back quite a bit.
for a Hall of Famer though, they got him in his tournament now. You know what I'm saying? It's a little high usage, but he do get his breaks though. They got
Mhm.
these storylines where he's written off for whatever reason and he's back, things like that. Um, with that situation, like I still feel like he's not completely like lost in the shuffle as to where like let's say he goes like Edge did. He went to AEW and now you just completely sabotage everything for what? For the sake of trying to keep up and show you
You
can
gonna make
still
me say it,
go.
aren't you?
Go ahead. We need it.
Miro, Miro, where are you?
Man,
Where are you, Miro? You're under somewhere. Hobbs, where you at, my boy? Wardlow, where are you?
that's a good way to put it. That's why I don't give up on Jericho. I do feel he inserts himself too much, but let's not act like when he was um the first champion. Was he the first champion of AEW?
Yep,
Le champion.
yep.
Like people wasn't fucking with that. People wasn't singing Judas in my mind.
Oh no,
Like
no. People were thinking Judah. It's just what kind of killed it for Jericho is I want to say
it was that controversy with
probably
with that chick.
with the Kaylee Ray stuff around this time
Yeah,
last year
it was. I'm not even going. Let's
because
not
it was
sugarcoat
that
it. Yeah,
because that was right after the Punk and Wembley situation. So yeah, you had Wembley, then you had the Jericho stuff, and then they had a string of folks getting knocked out cold for a minute.
and then I think people or the
And
perception I get is they want to see him put people over, and that's not the results they were getting at that moment in time. They were
and
getting
in
Jericho winning.
and this is where I feel like he's Jericho's got a lot of vent in him, and what I mean by that is this. Do you remember? Did you ever listen to CM Punk on Cole Cabana's podcast, that infamous interview that got him sued?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so there was a certain line that kind of reminds me of what Jericho is now with AEW. There was a time where Punk was talking about he wanted a main event spot at Mania, and Vince says, "You're in the main event match, pal. You're wrestling Triple H." And Punk goes, "I'm not stupid. The main event's the last match of the night, and I don't need to wrestle Triple H." What I mean about now to my comparison in Jericho's mind, as of late, or as it appears, anybody that works with him is automatically a star after that
Mhm.
because they have the privilege of working with him.
And yeah, that's the bad reputation that seems to be going around. That's why it's given a bad rub. Like it's not appreciated that even whether whoever wins or loses, that they're still getting the work off. You know what I'm saying? They still getting the reps in the ring with a legend. That's the part that's getting lost on us because we want the results to go a certain way. Because again, like I remember it was Jericho and Suzuki, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
man, I enjoyed that match. And the whole
Well,
fucking
they wrestled a
community
few
hated
times.
that. Yeah, but with the last time when they was chopping each other crazy in the ring on that episode of Dynamite,
Yeah, because let's be honest. Do you want to see two guys near 6 years old do that?
I mean, I like to see blood being drawn from chops. And then you
Well,
know
but
what's
but
crazy?
also very few people would hit as hard as Gunther and Minoru fucking Suzuki.
And I'm gonna keep it a stack though. This is where I gotta be honest. 2 weeks later, we seen Damian Priest and Roman do not Roman, Damian Priest and
Gunter,
Gunther do it, and it was fucking like, whoa.
because you have two guys that are in the prime of their career, following through and laying it in. Now, again, for those that may not be familiar with Suzuki, this man is a pioneer of mixed martial arts all over the world. This man is one of only a handful of men to put Ken and Frank Shamrock to sleep and knock them out. This man has knocked out Boss Rutan. He's knocked out and choked out your MMA wrestlers or guy's favorite MMA guy. He is that dude. And Jericho is, well, Jericho, but my point being is it's like having Mike Tyson getting in a WWE ring and sparring with, I don't know, Austin Theory or something like that. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be as bad as Brawl for All, hope to God not, but it's kind of one and the same.
Now I can see where people don't want to see the old fellas getting it rocking, and you know what I'm saying?
And the other thing on the AEW side is like everyone else is already doing that same spot before and after that match.
Yep,
You'll
again,
get
that's
that,
we spoke on
and you'll
that.
get the forearm spot.
Mm-hmm. That quote unquote pound to pound action right there, blow for blow, strike for strike. Like you said though, when it was done, we know we don't rarely see that in WWE, so it was more spoken about, more like whoa.
I
They
mean,
kind of
you don't
laid
see
it
it
in
as
like,
often, but at least the guys that are doing it in WWE, they're they're actually trying to get better at their form and their follow through to make it look like you're actually just tagging somebody as opposed to just actually tagging somebody and peppering somebody.
yeah. I
Because
mean, look,
let's see, how
they
often do
got
we
more
see someone get
coverage.
knocked out cold in AEW?
I seen more coverage on Drew McIntyre's staples to the head than, and I mean coverage on national news. Like I seen CBS putting this on their news like website. Drew McIntyre receives like I don't really get that type of information when AEW shows color because it happens so often.
Well, the only time when it gets word from on the AEW side is when something bad almost happened, i.e., a Darby Allin situation. Matt Hardy falling off a scaffold, missing a table, bouncing on concrete. Uh, let's see what else. Tony Khan calling the WWE the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. Shit like that. That's what makes the news for AEW.
Pizza cutter incident,
That too.
man.
But I get it. Folks are laying on the side of any publicity is good publicity, but you want to make money at the end of the day. I would assume. I would hope. You don't want to spend money just to cost yourself more money.
Nah, yeah, that's. Mm. And I'm not gonna lie, like again, the way that I took my takeaway from going to today's SmackDown, the way they decided to format the show was very unique, but for them, it works business wise. What they were able to do as a business today was crazy. They took what they usually do, and what I mean what they usually do is they rent out whatever arena for the whole day, and then they got to leave by a certain time. They got to pack up. They got to get out of there, right? But they maximize the same 5 to 6 hours they would do filming a main event show and then giving you the dark matches. No, no. We're gonna give you a semi-live SmackDown, and then the other one is taped.
And then as far as the quality amongst the actual shows, they've mastered this art of maximizing their revenue off of doing the bare minimum, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's like a rapper
That
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 makes
alone needs to be studied.
yeah, it's like a rapper or any musician that makes a hit a hit song off of the same formula, off the same melody, or
No,
off of the same kind of.
it's like you do a jingle for a 30-second commercial, and then that same jingle is on every media platform, it's on every news outlet, it's in every major movie,
Like
and
crazy.
it's like you it's barely anything, but it's somehow the greatest thing on God's green earth, or folks perceive it as at that, and it's
Sometimes less is
it's
more.
amazing,
Sometimes less is more. I mean,
and
listen,
they're proving
this
that.
I was having this conversation the other day with somebody. Why did they make calculators? You think a motherfucker want to be sitting here writing the act? And if we press for time, if there's deadlines we gotta meet, you think somebody wants to be writing out equations? No, 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 no. We want to simplify things here. We want to make this shit so that everybody got to, we get the job done. And sometimes in entertainment, it's the same way. If there's a formula, we got to go to the formula. There's no time to be doing a whole drawn out process that's and it's not gonna work for TV. It's not gonna work.
Remember, work smart, not hard.
Yeah. That's why for the last 30 years we've seen the same formula. S- Somebody comes out in the first 15 minutes of Raw, talks they shit, sets up the main event. That's almost always been the fucking recipe for a Raw show.
Yeah,
Almost always. It's setting the tone for the night. Then you get the other shit in between, like you say, the piss breaks, comedic relief, make people feel, make people laugh, make some people sad along the way. Bring them up after you made them sad. Have the high emotional spots. You know what I'm saying? Take them on a ride. I don't feel that with AEW sometimes.
or no, or if you do, it's one of two things. It's either what were they thinking, or I'm gonna be sick.
Well, yeah, and Amethyst, I'm glad you say that. There was people again. That was my point of bringing up earlier when I said when Roman came out the first time for this evening show. No spoilers. It was it was kind of disappointing. Like, damn, if I would have came out to this SmackDown and I really wanted to see Roman support Bloodline, and we just see him for I don't even think it was a total of 3 minutes. Like, I'll be honest, it was so fast. It made it might have been just 3 minutes, just
It might
clocking
have
in.
been, to be generous, it may have been 4, but definitely less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, like, and then you include the little end when he came back out to look like the more
Again,
we got was in a spoiler.
it's a nice little teaser for the quote unquote next episode, but no, from the live perspective, no, I get it.
And yeah, and live, like, is one thing, on television I could live with it. The amount of money we gotta pay to sit in these seats, it's you know, it's a bit pricey for us to just get. So I could understand certain people's frustrations if they're going live. You got a right to be mad from home too. But I think everything is subjective, and certain people got angles in which they can make a valid argument. Like if you go I'm pretty sure there's people that travel with the WWE in the sense of they do their best to go to every show, and if they
And then they got a rotating cast of folks that only do the limited house shows that they do now.
yeah, or to the
So
fans that
they're
mhm.
not on. I don't think they do as many live events anymore.
I mean, over here they haven't, and it's like it's seeming that the live events have been going global too. Like they've been doing a lot of global live events.
I think most of the live events here, just at the PLEs, they've all been overseas.
Yeah, I know. Like a lot of years there was when I was growing up, there was wrestlers that we weren't able to see because Raw only came to town maybe twice a year. So there was a lot of years where I didn't see Austin, Taker, Rock.
Anyone that was on SmackDown,
Yeah, and then when I did finally get to go to a show, then I got certain other people. We got Seth Rollins and Cena and Randy, but we didn't get the Batistas. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever else is around. So sometimes it may not be fair for the, but it's just it is how it is. That's part of the business too. But also that's why you got to know what you're getting into. If you're gonna go to these events, you just got to make sure that you spending the money that is not gonna affect you. This is money you could play with. You could just go
I
have
mean, but
fun
also,
with.
I mean,
I'm not paying 20,000 for no WrestleMania ticket. Y'all got
oh
somebody got
fuck
to hit
that.
me up. Somebody got to, yo, we like what we doing, chat? Like, what's up? We like y'all can send me there. Y'all can send me and Razor there, and we'll FaceTime y'all. We'll get, nah, I mean, get you the merch, like whatever y'all need after that. But I don't know. I can't pay for that. I can't. It's like I cannot. Let me turn my shit on. Hold on. I cannot.
I'd
Run me
rather
back. I cannot.
$1,000 for nosebleed.
And I'm gonna be honest, arena food is trash. How I'm gonna spend all my money and what I'm gonna eat. What I'm
And
gonna eat.
also,
Come on.
post COVID, certain venues they have designated eating and drinking areas, so you can't even take your food and drink to their seat anymore in certain spots.
Man.
But
I wanna
uh,
go to the
uh,
Tampa
uh,
Smackdown in December, but I'm only going if Roman puts it out on his schedule. I'm not
and
gonna
then
lie.
that's it. That's one pause I'm bringing too. Like, I mean, I get it. Some folks are only going to go to see certain individuals, but I mean, when I have a chance to go to the shows, I don't really expect to see anyone particularly unless I'm expecting a certain storyline to be advanced. But yeah, again, AEW for example, they'll have so and so advertise for a show. Person won't even be there. That's
Cause the
happened on
card is
more than one
always
occasion
subject.
this year alone.
The card is always subject to change. Always subject to change.
But if you're advertising them for that event and then you're not even making semi regular updates,
Right.
that's just bad business.
I mean, like
Uh,
I remember when Cody first came back to the WWE. I remember going to one of the shows because I wanted to see him. Um, CM Punk, another one. When he first signed from Survivor Series, when I got the CM Punk shirt, I was kind of, I ain't gonna lie, I was disappointed because of how WWE did it. They chose to
I
not
mean,
have CM Punk on the show, but they had him out there in Brooklyn. Like when I went to the parking lot,
yeah, that was a little strange.
that shit had me hot. I'm not gonna lie. And then they saved, I don't know what city they was in next week after that, Brooklyn, but then they chose to have CM Punk come out the next week. But he was in Brooklyn because I remember going to the parking garage and we saw him and everybody going crazy. CM Punk. I was like, nah, that's wild. Like, but he wasn't cleared at that time either. So
I mean, yeah, that could have been more of a business thing or whatever. Like, let's not let's make sure you're comfortable with the traveling all that first before we just throw you out to the wolves.
hmm and then let's just to double down on the tag teams you was talking about earlier. If the Good Brothers ever decide to, get back out
That's
there,
another tag team
yeah,
because they got some history with the new Bloodline, some ancient history.
this is what I'm saying. Like a lot can happen. Like part of me be feeling like Tama Tonga and Tongaloa could just break off from Jacob and Solo and do their own thing. Make that like remember how we said what if it's too much, but what if there's three different groups?
Yeah, jury's still out on that, and that will definitely change a lot of theories.
Yeah. I feel like the third group would make even more sense, kind of like, but the third group would be like, all right, like, excuse me, the original bloodline to me would be like dudes that were already in the WWE. Obviously, Roman, Usos. Then
You put
this
Sammy back in it.
you put Sam back in it. The second coming to that to that bloodline will be the Jacob, the Solo, but the outsiders, the ones that were like cast it off to a whole nother country, will be the Tongans. Those were like the ones that were like really like okay, Jacob was casted out. We didn't want to let him in, but at least he was still doing work here. Like the Tongans could play it like man, we had to go all the way to Japan. 12 like
Oh, folks forget Tonga Loa was in WWE 10 years ago and was fired.
mhm. Like real
So,
outside
so you
like
can just say you have my brother here, and you guys kicked him to the curb, left him to starve.
yeah. Try to change and you play into that. You try to change his whole identity, his whole background. You try to make him something he wasn't.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They could really do three different groups. And it could all be comprised of either 3 to 4 members. Even if there's one member short, it doesn't always have to be even. The matches don't always have to be like, okay, we need these four. Like Roman has to be in this match. Roman don't got to be in every match. Every 6 man match, every 8 man match. Like, especially if they get a Sami Zayn back on their side. It's like it's so many crazy things. I mean,
If
OG bloodline. We Lance
you
was
throw
a part
Sam,
of
you throw
WWE.
Sam back in there, we get to see KO versus all of them all over again.
Man, that's like the one thing I hope they won't spin the block back on. Like, I never really enjoyed the Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns.
Oh, also with Kevin, we don't know if he's resigned yet or not.
Who, Kevin?
Yeah, 'cause his contract's up end of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, as busy as they're keeping him, I would hope he resigns, but I guess I don't want to say Crown Jewel will be a testament of it, but we'll see. Because I can see him kicking back his during his 90 days and going right over to Tony Khan land
I
because
mean,
his best friends are the EVPs.
yeah, if he, you know, what I mean, I just hope he takes one RKO before he go on the way out.
I'll throw out a little early prediction. If Randy absolutely squashes him in less than 10 minutes, he's gone.
Mm.
The match goes over 10 minutes, he might stick around a little bit. That's my pre-prediction prediction.
Again, just to before we get out of here, cause I ain't gonna lie, chat. I am getting tired. I need to get some rest. It's 5:13 a.m. over here in New York. I'm like I'm swinging. I'm on the ninth inning, swinging at the fences right now. But Romans and the Usos will have the pre-tape segment for next week. Spoiler. There, Jay Uso kept mentioning if they were gonna be strong at Crown Jewel, they kept being mention of them together at Crown Jewel. I didn't see no pre-taped video package on the screen announcing a match. There was no match announced in attendance, but all of us heard it. There's transcripts. People that were there. How do you like? What's your take on that? You feel like They're just gonna do a pop up? Are they gonna have a match? Like I feel
My main
lost.
question is why?
That's the big capital Y, WHY, capital Y. Because what I'm saying though is, why did the bloodline have to lose like my thing? I don't understand. If you already got the belts in purgatory, why say, oh, we don't want to keep it in purgatory if we're gonna have them further the bloodline story? No, I think
Again, you
the
could have had
gold
the
makes
Machine
it
Guns
more.
beat him after the PLE.
The gold makes. I get one part of the fight for the family, but prestige. If you add prestige to it, then it just takes a step up. Because when you don't take you take the prestige off of it, it's like, oh, now we just fighting because y'all doing dickhead shit. That's why we fighting, because y'all trying to take over shit. But now if you was telling me we fighting because we the champions and we really holding it down, and y'all not keeping up y'all end of the bargain. Y'all saying y'all the bloodline and y'all provide for the family. No, we're providing for the family. We hold the gold. With none of that, what are y'all fighting for? It's kind of like they said it themselves. They said, you just dividing the family. That's what they fighting for. The division, because it's divided now. It's like a reverse Jedi mind trick shit.
Also, I think you're skipping past something that even Jey Uso touched on last week. The
Which
role
part?
that Solo has claimed, it's earned,
Right.
not allowed, not permitted. You can't just go and call yourself the tribal chief. No, that honor has to be bestowed upon you. It's not something that you can just call dibs over. You weren't chosen for it. Whereas Roman was handpicked by the elders, and in said cabinet, the Usos were appointed. So essentially, Solo's portraying a false prophet in Jay's eyes. Yes, he's just for the family, but as far as what the family's history with said titles, you kind of going behind the family doing this, Solo,
No, and
and
look,
you know better.
Amethyst, this is what I'm saying, right? It was payback for Jay losing, but why did Jay even have to get the Intercontinental Championship to lose to begin with? Why did Braun
Because
Breaker?
Rikishi said, "Why you wasting my boy?"
Why did we just like everything is kind of done on some crazy shit? Cause it's like, all right, we took away. Cause I'm gonna be honest, the old saying to me is, it's not how many times you won the championship. That also tells me how many times you lost the championship. I'm impressed by a long title reign. I'm impressed by 666 days as Intercontinental Champion. I'm impressed by 1,000 days as World Heavyweight
1,300
Champion.
days.
There you go. I'm impressed by that. Them stat patent Braun Breaker. Because what you gonna tell me? It's like you can't tell me the purpose was to give Jay his moment and to give Braun two titles, two title
And
reigns.
all the history books will show is for the last like 5 to 10 years, the two men with the shortest reigns as IC champions are Ron Breaker and Jey Uso.
See, and this is where prime manipulation. This is why Roman Reigns' character is prime manipulator. Jay could never be equal to Roman, but Roman is gonna let him think that, so that Roman could do what he needs to do to win this battle.
Well, I think you're kind of looking a little bit from one side because remember the Usos, they held tag gold over 1,000 days,
I,
longest reigning
I'm gonna
tag
say
team
this.
champions in history.
To me, a world heavyweight champion is always smacking whatever tag team any tag team is doing.
But I'm just saying, in the
And
eyes of
Roman
the
was
initial
the
vision of the
world heavy.
bloodline, They each
Roman
had their
was
role,
heat.
as the Rock would say, everyone's got a role and know it,
Mhm.
and that was it. This is your territory, this is my territory. Combined, this is our kingdom.
Mhm. Cause now if that's the case, like Jimmy can sit there and talk his shit too. He just happy. Jim, like, you know what I'm saying? We go all, like, everybody could sit there and try to make this case once they won something. Yeah, I'm equal to you, Roman. Nah, because if Roman's supposed to be our tribal chief, then now we got three tribal chiefs. If you telling me we equal, then we all tribal chiefs.
Well,
You
I don't know if
can't
you
be
recall in the
equal to
early
the
days,
tribal chief. You cannot be equal to the tribal chief. You cannot be equal to the high chief, the final boss. It's not. It's
well,
not. It doesn't equate to me. It sounds good on paper. It sounds good. Yeah, if I'm not your equal in the first second, I'm out of here. It sounds good. It sounds great. And Roman's gonna play with it. He's gonna play along.
but again, in the early days of the Bloodline, it was Jimmy Uso that said that they all tribal chiefs, and Roman laughed and said, like you said, it don't work that way. I am the head of the table. You do what I say.
Right. And then it's kind of contradictory now if what you saying Jay said to Solo, it's not it's not whatever taken, it's earned or appointed. So now y'all appointed equal tribal chiefs, or y'all because Roman is still claiming he the tribal chief. The last time I
Yeah,
checked,
he is
that
the only tribal chief.
so if you mean equal on the level of respect, that's the only thing you could be equal to, but not equal to positioning.
And then again, now that the Wild Samoans are no longer with us, who would be the appointed elders? Would it be Rikishi Haku? Could it be Haku and The Rock?
That's the
Who
part
are
that I
who
was
are these
trying.
elders?
That's the remember when I said the leadership and Rock with Haku and then versus Ricky. Where do we go with this?
Yeah, because we kind of have to look at
Okay,
who's
then yeah, I could see
because
that.
those three are that's the hierarchy right there. Those are the patriarchs right now of the
I had my
family.
camera off. I was coughing earlier. Oh yeah, Jay still yeah. In terms of no funny business, yeah, then they gotta be like that and equal. Like, all right, bro, you can't talk to me like I'm little bro no more. Like if you, but in terms of like, yeah, I'm equal to you, and it's either my way or the highway. Nah, like I don't think. I mean, he could try it, but
And whenever we go into detail with the Roman and Jay embrace, I wouldn't go as far as say they're on equal footing now. It's just they now, as they've had their moments of rage, so to speak, or some way you want to call it crashing out, they both have an appreciation of the roles that were bestowed upon them respectively.
mm-hmm.
Like Jay now knows, hey, you had to do what you had to do for this, but just know I had to do this for our family too. We did
Go
this
read
for our
somebody into
family
it that
at
deeply.
one
Yep.
point.
Cause I feel like at the end of the day, they're gonna be good. Like when the movie ends, Roman and the Usos are gonna be good. They gonna be straight. The only thing is, if we ever want Roman to get back to a heel, there is openings for him to do dirty shit. But we already
See,
went down that avenue with them so much that there's no need for that.
yeah, I don't think we'll ever see that level of demon time out of him ever again because of again what he's done these last few years. Because let's
Good,
say
good, Brody.
Seth actually takes out Punk. I've been teasing this matchup for a while. Roman still has to get that run back with Seth freaking Rollins.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. It'd be funny if at the end, it'd be like what you said, Rock and Roman, whether they have the match or not, they sit there laughing at everybody like, yo, y'all thought we was really against each other? Like, that'd be crazy.
Again, given all these
Talk about the
sudden
WWE
audibles,
Smackdown
so to
episode that
speak,
just happened.
like given all these audibles that we've been seeing, it's like that's a possibility we might have to consider.
Man, like, I'm ready for all the twists and turns because all the callbacks, like, it's like, where can we really go? Like, I'm just waiting for Keith to pop out on screen one time. Like, I be thinking like he gotta just. I'm thinking he generating his buzz, getting ready for that moment for that call. Like everybody talking, Keith's got his name out there. Like,
Oh, I don't, this reminds me. I don't know if it's this weekend or coming up at this wrestling event
yeah,
in Wisconsin. Zillify 2 will be in a match being managed by none other than Armando Alejandro Estrada.
that's fire. I mean, I think we can almost all but confirm it. WWE bound. It's like just a matter of time, bro.
Yeah, it's just a matter of when. And apparently, Booker T is lobbying hard.
I mean, listen,
That's his student.
and that's what like Booker said something that made sense in that bit where he was talking about him. You, in any kind of business that's cutthroat, you're gonna be where your family, your loved ones are at, and that's where everybody's at.
It doesn't hurt to have a safety net, especially in areas like that.
Yeah, man, Big Zilla, man. Shout out to Zilla,
Amethyst, were you in chat when we had Tony Khan in not too long ago?
man. I'm not gonna lie, Zilla was like one of the first people that like I want to say really made me feel a part of like the blood. Like when I go to the shows, throw up the ones and all that shit. Like you gotta understand, like if y'all really watch what's going on, Zilla fuck with battle rap.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, he's all over that Houston scene.
you feel me? And he fucked with a couple of dudes from New York that was out here he gave the beats to Chess. You feel me? So he's well aware. When I messaged him and shit, and I seen that he's really tapped in with shit, that's what made me really realize like, nah, wrestlers in our day and age are really different than like, or even at that point, he wasn't even like fully wrestling yet. He was just coming out and going through his situation. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it was still dope that like he responded to like Amethyst, to people like myself and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just giving us the time, and you know what I'm saying? Because anybody could just be bad and bougie, like whatever, like not responding to people. And look, he on the way up, he doing his thing. So all that good positive vibe got him in a good space right now. You know what I'm saying? Hard work. That's what that hard work gets y'all, chat. Put your mind to it. You know what I'm saying?
And then giving guys like him, Jacob, kind of getting their act together, it kind of bums me out to see like what happened with Teddy Hart, like guys like that, all the talent in the world, and just string of bad luck, and that always just got in the way.
I mean, it's kind of like we always talk about it, personal demons, right? So you just can't get over certain things and certain decisions. We just get in the way of ourselves, and greatness be right there in front of us the whole time.
So think about it, to this day, the youngest guy that Vince
Facts.
McMahon ever signed, and he was gone as quick as he signed on the dotted line.
Word, man. That shit. When Zilla had responded, we was like just going back and forth for a little second. I'm like, man, I can't go against the bloodline. Like I seen people flopping on the bloodline a whole bunch of times during Roman's era, during Solo's era, and there's things that it's like like I say about I like to use the Berlanti versus my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Comparison. Yeah, like
You love that universe,
yeah, there's it's gonna be an overall fire series. There's gonna be some episodes fillers. It is what it is. You're not gonna get every episode 10 out of 10.
but in those
They do
episodes
their
that may
fucking
not be
best.
full action packed, there definitely will be at least 2 or 3 Easter eggs that you're gonna have to keep an eye on for some episodes down the road.
Yeah, I mean, like if you go back to the Flash, right? Who was his fucking big bad for the whole series? Reverse Flash, yeah, boy, Thorn. That's like, you know what I'm saying? We keep seeing the same things going on here with the family members that they just always gonna be intertwined, no matter what. And then now you add the Rock, which it seems like before he was coming through for more of a breeze. Now he's more invested. He got more at stake in
He's
the company.
very much in the story now.
Yeah. Before it was more spec. It was like, oh, are we getting it? No, he's here. It's happening. We in
And
motion.
then and then there's other folks that will forever be in toward the Trump spirit in the story, whether it be a Paul Heyman, a Sami Zayn, to a degree a Cody Rhodes, a Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
even Drew McIntyre.
And I say that to say people got tired of the Flash shit by season 4 or 5. Seeing that shit, we in season 4 right now, and it just got re-rejuvenated. Like, you know what I'm saying? We here, we re-energized with the storyline. It don't feel like we at the down. People thought we was going down because they were throwing their opinions at it, and like Amethyst said, once Roman took his vacation, our punishment, we want Roman chance. It kind of like, oh no, we really not tired. We thought we was tired, or we might have been. Sometimes you do need an
Cody, we
audible.
thought you were the guy. We thought you was him. Respectfully, disrespectfully, we was a little wrong.
And sometimes I think you need a good audible. Maybe it's a bad example, but for me, I felt like this as a Tom Brady fan when he was on top in New England. People didn't want to fucking root for him. But the second he went to Tampa Bay, I seen people coming out the woodworks telling me, "Oh, yo, Tom Brady, man, I can't believe he went to Tampa Bay and won. 40 years old."
Well,
Saying
with
all
that one,
kind of
that's more that everyone was curious to who was the brains. Was it Brady or Belichick?
yeah. And then like you start having more of an appreciation for Brady now as to what he did. And you like and like I said, maybe not the same bad example for me. It was kind of like in terms of while it was happening, you guys didn't want to see it happen.
Well, look at the Kansas City Chiefs now.
That's another,
Prime
yeah.
example.
Yep.
Not only are
Another
they
one.
trying to be the first team ever to win 3 straight Super Bowls, with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, they may go perfect this year.
Yeah,
You
that's
love to
what's up
see it.
right there. As long as Roman stays the tribal chief, I'm good to go. And that's another thing that I'm interested to see where the character arc of the tribal chief goes after this. Like, does he stick around to just not win championships? Like,
Well, he said that once the stuff with this new blowing's out the way, potentially The Rock included, he is coming back for Cody. So there's a chance we don't get Cody Roman 3 until maybe Mania 42.
and with the way they've been able to draw out time, it could very well happen. So,
It,
Like,
it, it could be SummerSlam next year. It could be Survivor next year. Who says it's got to be at a WrestleMania? It could be at a Smackdown for all we know. Would that match need to be the main event of a big show?
I mean, we've seen it main event twice, and it didn't
Yeah.
disappoint. And main event at the highest level at WrestleMania didn't disappoint. Maybe if you was a Cody fan,
Yeah.
might have
Well,
disappointed you once.
how many times did the Brock and Roman main event?
Shit, like if you want to count, maybe 3 or 4 from the first time they met when Seth cashed
Yeah,
in.
I remember way back when there was a joke that those two were respectively going to tie Hogan for most consecutive Mania main events because Hogan's got 5,
Mm.
and those two. I mean, they've since passed Hogan for most Mania main events, but to do it consecutively. I mean, and also with respects, what's more impressive, the amount of main events of Mania that Roman Reigns has, or Undertaker's win-loss streak prior to WrestleMania 30?
Main event for me. Reason being, that's what's selling the show. Like there was a lot of the Undertaker streak, like I want to say half of that streak, that really was just like it wasn't like
Giant
okay, one of
Gonzalez, Ric
a
Flair,
handicap match or yeah, like Albert and
Vic, or something like that.
yeah, like come on. Some of that shit wasn't even like you can't even say that was a high marquee like
The Boneyard match.
that shit was fire, but like such a weird one for it being a Mania match and uh,
Especially when you have classics like the end of an era Hell in a Cell match,
yeah,
both
you know
matches with Shawn Michaels.
those 3 or 4 series right there, the two with Shawn, the two with Triple H during Undertaker's streak, and maybe the shit with who was it, Edge? It was
Yeah,
championship versus streak, or
yeah.
was it Batista? It was either Edge or Batista, but that and then the other 4 I mentioned, those are the 5 that I'm like, all right. Anything else, I might be wrong, but like CM Punk shit
Did
was
Randy have a
cool.
match in the Mania or no?
Randy, huh?
I don't think Randy ever got. I know Randy had other pay per views, but I don't think Randy got Mania with him.
Undertaker, Roman, I didn't care for. CM Punk and
It
Undertaker
didn't mean
was
as much because Brock had already got the one.
mm-hmm. I think
Now,
Roman,
granted,
Cody,
yeah, that
Kurt
set up the
Angle
next
was
few
fire.
Manias for Brock and
Yeah,
Roman,
it would.
but
Not gonna lie, it would.
that's about all it did.
Yeah. So to me, I think and it only became. I'm gonna be honest. It only became 1 year or 2 years that Undertaker's streak was main event worthy, and that was them years where Shawn had to retire and the Hell in a Cell with Trips. Those were main event. Like okay, oh, and then the Brock Lesnar shit, obviously, because I ain't gonna lie, I knew that was gonna go left. I was telling people in my crib that day, Brock is gonna win. People were looking at, what you mean Brock gonna win? I was like, bro, this is like MMA Brock. Like,
Yeah, there was definitely something, and even rewatching the match and what Taker's talked about it, like he was told that day, and
say
rewatching that match, you could read in his face like
he was just
something was there,
Mohawk Taker, just
and I guess he was knocked out early in the match too.
like, come on, bro. It was just like, man, it was bad. So I knew that I didn't really, yeah. Uh, I don't know. And then I mean, not to say Romans had the greatest matches as main event, but we got the Seth cash in moment. We've got a lot of cool moments with Roman and Brock main event, and then the stuff with Roman and Cody. Like there was moments. These these are moments that we can look back to. Like It used to be every 5 years we had a moment. Oh, the yes moment, the this moment. After that,
Eddie and Benoit winning at 20. That
hmm
was a moment.
Roman's
But
matches are great. I mean, I don't think I've seen a match of Roman that I didn't like, to be honest. Because I understand pace and I understand style. I understand everybody work different. Everybody's in
now, are
ring
we comparing
full of
Roman
character.
starting from the Thunderdome era or what?
I mean, again, I feel like each iteration of the Shield version, I liked how he was a powerhouse for the Shield. Post Shield, he used to do the drive by, like he used to do the run around the ring, the drive by. On occasion, he might do it here and there, but like he had a different set of moves. The five moves they were accusing him of, but
So
now,
you like the stuff with him and Corbin with the dog food, huh?
nah, like that was crazy. I don't even know why they did him like that. But I do like his incorporation of like the guillotine choke now. Shit is just done with more emphasis, ferocity, more like
Or the
there's
match
more.
he had with Jey Uso where it's early Tribal Chief stuff, he's talking to the camera. He's like, "My arms is extra big. I could do this all day long."
Yeah, like I'm good with Roman style. I'm like Sami Zayn when he was telling Roman how great the stuff he was doing was.
So should Sammy get reintroduced into the story? How soon before we start hearing the Usi chants again?
See, that's the only thing I'm afraid of. I'm be honest. Like I know that they're gonna
Same
be
here.
face, yeah, but I don't want too much happy go lucky, too much fooling around. I still want this to be a like a dominant back to championship goal. Like let's get us back to the promised land. Like yeah, we for the people and all that, but let's not lose sight.
And I think that once, especially if you get Sammy back in the fold, it's gonna be a
Immediately.
whole lot of Judgment Day esque jokes. I fear Sammy will be resorted to being an Archbishop Carlito.
Cause
Hopefully, I'm wrong, but I don't know.
no, like part of me wants to see okay the full on embrace of like Roman was fighting it a lot before because he had to be the tribal chief. But again, if you want to maintain tribal chief status, to me, I'm
You
be
got to
honest,
break bread with your tribe.
yeah, like so I don't know, it's kind of difficult. Like he got to still
But again,
be
with
serious
everyone
one,
else,
but
that makes sense. It's just
yeah, for
I
him it
don't
don't,
see that happening with Sammy.
man. See, I could see Sammy coming back in the fold because he was already good with Jay, but and then, like I told you before, looking back, Jimmy always found Sami Zayn funny to begin with. It was Jay that had the issues with him.
Right?
So I think like Sammy's an easy plug. The only thing I'm concerned, I don't want Roman to become too foolish, like too playing around, kidding around. Like I like when Roman's on his bully. That's the character I like. I like a
But
Roman Reigns that's
and
on his
again,
bully.
assuming Roman hasn't had a change of heart, he may still consider Sammy the reason why Jimmy and Jay left him in the first place.
Mm. But I think right now Roman is gonna do whatever. Like you see how he caved in and he showed. Well, y'all didn't see that. I was just spoiler because it's gonna happen next week. But Roman caves in and he embraces Jay. Yeet. The crowd chants, "Hug it out." They hugged it out, and I think Roman is at that point where he's starting to see he gotta trust what his original bloodline being Jimmy and Jay. Now what Jimmy had to say and offer, he's seeing it, and now he's starting to cave into Jay. Now I say that to say if Sammy's part of the like they say, yo, you can't forget about him, like, you know what I mean? I think he's gonna have his reservations at first, but he gonna learn to have to trust them if we want Sammy back in. Right now, unless they need an extra body, I don't see no reason to just we don't need to rush him in there right now.
Even if they're outnumbered to a degree, I don't see him essentially bringing it to the table with that again because it had its purpose. He had a good run. That's it.
And it served its purpose. Sami Zayn became a star off of this, off of just being part of the bloodline. Honorary Oos. He goes on to become tag team championship with Kevin Owens, and then goes on to beat Gunther.
Back to back WrestleManias, mind you.
hmm And he main evented one of those nights for the tag team belt against the Usos. Him and Kevin Owens. So he snuck a little main event in there too. Think about it. I mean, people want to make it like seem like main event of night two is much more than main event of night one. It may be, but main event is main event, baby.
Still
Main
close
event,
out the night.
yep. Close out the night. Main event is main event.
Well, we got a lot of time till Mania season, but
Sammy got to go back. It's the OG
Survivor
bloodline.
Series is right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, and Amethyst, my thing is, since we in this little, I feel like we in a sped process right now. Like, I don't know what's the direction we going for November, but remember I said this too. What if Kevin Owens' attack on Cody Rhodes was paid for by the final boss? It was funded. A contract was put out.
Okay, so then why would Randy also be a target? Rocket and Randy never had a match together, aside from that
Well,
Evolution Rock and Sock Connection match.
the reason Randy and Kevin get into it now is because Randy's pressing Kevin about it. But I don't think there's no head out on Randy from The Rock. I think Randy's just falling
That's
crosshairs.
the only thing that I think that kind of that may debunk your theory. Though that theory is funny as hell too.
Yeah, like I don't know why I think like the prize fight is doing a
Because
contractual
also,
hit right now. Like,
who else has Kevin got a bone to pick with? Roman.
mm,
Roman is the bloodline.
that's why it also made sense because remember when I said Cody, Kevin Owens got mad because Cody, you're working with Roman, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna work with The Rock. That's a big slap in the face, a big fuck you, because you over here
That's
working.
hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. And I
Oh
mean, from
Lord.
my knowledge, Kevin Owens and The Rock never had no bad encounters. So it's
But one thing that unfortunately we'll probably never see is Cody and Dustin Rhodes in a WrestleMania main event or in a WrestleMania marquee match.
yeah, that past this time, especially if Dustin resign. Yeah, it's just yeah.
He's having too much fun in AEW.
I mean, cause he get to do over there what he not gonna get to do over here, which that's cool. It's just
Well,
if you
most
were
of the time he's
allowed to do that over here one time, you should consider it.
most of the time he's running the dojo.
That's what I'm saying. When you work, that's why like we speaking on earlier. Some people are just meant to be free. When you working with WWE, you become a coach for them. You don't. It's like you can have your own stuff, but you might be working at the PC center, or you know what I'm saying. Might be at
Okay,
NXT.
look at Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears. They had their wrestling school.
Hmm. And he's still in NXT.
Yeah,
So yeah, like it's just some people just want the more freedom. I mean, what we said about Mercedes Monet, she wanted more time to do what? Where the movies at? Where the announcement? Where the? I mean, I don't know. They probably out there. I haven't heard nothing though.
oh Lord. I guess Camille had her debut match the other day.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Samantha Irvin. I hope the album fire. I wanna, you know what I mean? I wanna tap in. I'll be listening to the duets you be doing with other people. Fire. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to be free. We gotta just see how free. Kayla
Time to tell.
Braxton, right? She got out of this. She said she gonna do stuff in Hollywood. I think she did. She said she was announced in some project. I think.
Charlie Caruso, Charlie Arndt left them to
Hmm.
get a job with ESPN.
Yeah, like Renee Young, right? Renee Paquette. Structure is everything. I think she did her best work in WWE. Whenever I see her in RJ City over there, it just feels like it just feel like fool around time. I'm not gonna lie. Feel like
RJ is not a good analyst.
we just coming to fuck around. That's what it feel like. Like we just coming to fuck around. As to like where now I watch the pre-show, right? How many times have we said, "Yo, Big E is dropping some shit"? As soon
Like
as we like
you
Big
can't
E's,
if you're in a position of power, you cannot tell that big bastard a damn thing because he's gonna leak it out. He don't give a fuck.
and it makes for a compelling watch because if you catching on, and then you notice what happens later on in the night, you like, oh, he
And
kind of
he'll basically damn near tell you when the match is gonna be, when the show is gonna be.
yeah. On the other
He's
side, like you know what I'm saying, they left go over there. You just botching the shit up for no reason. With no
yeah,
luck.
yeah. Camille had her debut match with Queen Aminata. Poor Camille was gassed at the early start of the match.
No way.
Well, she
She ain't
had been
been
allowed to
in there.
wrestle in damn near an entire calendar year.
Yeah, man. That's unfortunate.
Ring rust is a real thing.
Man.
And next week it's going to be her versus Chris Statlander already. Yeah, I guess they're going to do a quote unquote a massive show for Halloween. And some of the matches on this show, per usual, should be on a pay per view. But Tony gonna Tony.
Yeah, man. Tony
Yeah, we're
going
getting
Tony.
Camille versus Statlander. We're getting Swerve versus Shelton Benjamin already. You're gonna love this one. We're getting Adam Cole versus Buddy Matthews.
Mm.
I
Why?
guess they're in a rivalry right now.
Yeah, I'm about to say why.
And then we're getting Young Bucks versus Private Party. If Private Party loses, they must disband.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just fuck them up.
Very exciting dynamite. And then the dynamite after that, they got to take on NXT, which will be at the legendary ECW arena.
Yeah, good luck with that, cause it seems like everybody's hyped for that NXT show.
And let's not forget, we got Halloween Havoc this weekend, my brother.
Yup, cooking up.
We got that. We had Delta Dave. Oh, excuse. Oh, what's her name? Her new name? I want to be rude. Let's see.
You changed the name?
Yeah, they repackaged her because again, they probably want it's a licensing thing. Zarya.
Mm.
And Zarya has already gotten shout outs from immediately Rhea Ripley and a few other the women on the main roster.
Well, as we wind down though, we gonna get some more stuff in because we got some sidebar topics. So, like I said, I'm kind of tired, so we could get to that shit tomorrow. So we gonna drop some more shit. Chat. Y'all stay tuned in because we got Monday coming up. We're gonna pop out. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. So I did, you know what I'm saying? I was able to pop out the Smackdown, did this show, and Monday we back at it. Tomorrow, if Raise is free, we're gonna do them sidebar topics, drop them shits for y'all, cause we got a few topics we want to talk about. We gonna give our thoughts on Cody Rhodes, 200 days as champion. Does family overrule everything in terms of championships? Does family override championships and storylines? JD from New York, if you watch Off the Script, JD from New York, he's been having some issues with some talent regarding his takes, regarding his coverage
Oh,
of professional
but
wrestling.
you catch New York, y'all don't back down from nothing.
Man, not even if it means getting our Kofi smacked off. It's like, come smack it for me. We talk. It's crazy. We'll talk shit to the end of it.
But also for some of y'all sport fans right now, New Japan has night 2 of the Super Juniors Tag League. In about 8 hours, you have the UFC pay-per-view live from Abu Dhabi. You got college football. You'll have Sunday. You have Halloween Havoc, Game 2 of the World Series, NFL
Ooh,
Sunday. The NBA is back in full force. NHL's in full swing, folks. Sports are here.
yeah, we definitely gonna
Buckle
get
up.
into some sports. So, cause we also that's also on the sidebar. We're gonna get some thoughts on NBA, man. Who's been starting off strong? Who's been playing well? Who hasn't been
I'm gonna
playing
leave y'all
well?
with a little Easter egg. Tyrese Halliburton
Ooh,
goose egg at Madison Square Garden.
ooh, wait.
Did
No,
not score a single point. Played almost half an hour.
it's cause he want to be doing that grimy stuff to us in the playoffs. You want
But
to be showing
when was the
out,
last time you seen a star get hit a goose egg?
man. It's been a while. We'd be lucky if we
Karma
just
is
see
a
them.
bitch.
Like the least you'll see a star player do is like 8 points, 13. These days, zero is that. Well, wow.
But over all across the board. That you know the Knicks got that shit framed in the locker room as we speak. You see all that shit he was talking last season. Look, we got his ass.
Man. See y'all next time. Thanks for the great time and discussion. Amethyst, we appreciate you always popping up. We hope to see you next time. We gonna leave y'all with the outro. Y'all know what it is, man. We appreciate y'all. We thank y'all for joining us. Unwelcome your thoughts. Off the hip. That embrace right there, chat. Look at
Everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out, they laid a big smile, no handcuff by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip. Yeah. Oh, chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out, they rain a big smile, no handcuff by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip. Yeah. Chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out the arena, big smile on, handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters.